This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Did you know 1 man every hour, every day is diagnosed with testicular cancer? In fact, testicular cancer is the most common form of cancer among men ages 15 to 35. With April being National Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, our friends over at Manscaped have partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to help spread awareness for men's health and early cancer detection. Visit manscaped.com/TCS to learn how to check yourself for early signs of cancer. And as always, you can use promo code VIALL for 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. In addition to providing the right tools and solutions for comfortable and easy grooming, Manscaped is committed to raising awareness and giving support for fighters, survivors, and families impacted by testicular cancer. This is why they will be donating $50,000 to the Testicular Cancer Society. Help save lives and balls by going over to manscaped.com/TCS and sharing their funny, educational, check yourself video. And while you're at it, grab 20% off plus free shipping with code VIALL because, like a famous American philosopher once said, take care of your chicken, your balls, and your mentals. It's so great to have Manscaped supporting such an important cause. Also, don't forget they have amazing men's grooming equipment like the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Don't forget, like I always say, if your man does not have something to groom his balls, he's using your stuff. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I am your host, Nick, joined by the household. We got Sweet Boy Justin, we got Sierra in here. We have a couple of very special guests. Kate Aurthur returns to the show from Variety Magazine. Welcome, Kate. And for the first time on the show, very excited about this one, Joy Bryant is with us. Yes!
So happy to be here.
We have so much to get into.
I'm
Taylor
so excited.
Swift has a new album. Lala's coming after Taylor Swift. It's kind of crazy. Anyways, Joy, how are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm good. Good morning or afternoon.
How have you been?
Evening.
It's still morning.
It'll be morning.
We'll get close to the afternoon. How's life? What's new? Congratulations on all your new stuff.
Oh, thank you. Life is good enough. You know, I got a good new show out.
The Spiderwick
Cool.
Chronicles.
Like I'm bumping into it.
You're good.
You're doing
Spiderwick-
great.
Thank you.
We're all very excited about it.
Me too.
What's your?
The Spiderwick Chronicles on.
And it's already
Roku.
out.
Yes.
It's already out
Yeah.
on Roku.
Yes, came out last week.
How excited are you for it?
Well, I mean, we shot it like last year. It's gone through so many things. And
Is it one?
things.
Was
So
it
it's
like? Was it a pandemic project?
we shot it during from September of 2022.
Wow.
And then into the winter of 2023. So it's just like
It's
finally.
It's one of those things. Yeah, you record and you kind of forget about it. You let it go.
Yeah.
And
And a
then-
lot of things happen.
And a lot of things happen.
And then the strike happened, and then this happened, and this, you know, so
Yeah.
it's like,
It must be a relief to finally just kind of have it out and have everyone enjoying it.
yeah. You know, I had to remind myself, what was my name again? What did I do? You know, I had to like, you know, I'm older now, so I have to remind myself. I need like sheets like this to remind me of like the hell I'm doing. So
Well, we're very
Dang.
excited about it. We actually have a clip to play. A clip of
what?
it.
We have the
You do?
trailer.
Trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, cute.
Let's play the trailer.
Okay.
Well,
Oh my
was
god,
very
I love that
exciting.
trailer so much. It's so cute. It's so
that
powerful,
looks
so emotional.
So fun. And
Yeah.
this based off a very popular book
Yeah.
series.
And there was a movie in 2008, I believe.
I love
too,
that
was
movie,
based on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Were you a fan of the original take on it?
Yeah, I mean, I've never read the books before, but I knew the movie and I
Mhm.
watched it again when I was like up for the role and stuff. So
Oh, that is
It's
so
very
up my
exciting.
alley.
yeah,
Like,
that makes me so happy.
One of those kind of
for her.
shows that kind of goes across, like it's for adults, it's for kids,
Yeah,
everyone kind
exactly.
of watch it, which I'm really in the market for. Shows that I
Yeah.
can now watch with my
Yeah.
daughter
Yeah.
that I will enjoy.
How old
Yeah.
is your daughter?
She's only 11 weeks,
Oh,
but
she's 11 weeks.
yeah.
Whoa.
new.
Wow.
She's very new. Yeah.
Oh wow! And then y'all getting married. Wow.
Oh,
man.
not me.
Oh no, not y'all.
Yeah.
It's like not me, girl.
No, she's coming to the wedding.
Wow.
Coming to the
Oh
wedding.
my
Uh,
God, so much awesome new
yeah.
energy and life and all these things
Yeah,
in
we're,
your life.
we're very excited.
This is so
It's
cool.
been so much fun.
Congratulations.
Yeah, our daughter wakes up in very good moods, which is
Whew.
very cute, but also a little frustrating.
Why?
Well, because we're tired.
Are you not a morning person?
She's
You're
like, I'm
like-
up, and I'm like, ah. And then I'll look at her, and she's all like, ah. And I'm like, okay, I'm not mad.
Yeah.
I'm happy, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Right
do I
on.
look? I got the facial. Do I look tired
I
today?
think
People
you're
have been telling me I
glowing.
look tired.
You're glowing.
Really? I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never, haven't seen you in person before.
But
I
not
mean,
that bad,
I think
right?
I think you're crushing it right now.
I think so. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Nick also got a facial a couple days ago,
I
so
did.
we're
What
reminding
kind
Pre-wedding facial.
Yeah.
Oh, what kind of facial did you get?
the works.
Is there other different kinds?
Oh, yeah, these different
I know yours
kinds.
was like an
It's
hour and a
different.
half, so you got the works.
Ah.
It lasted like I would have showed up late. So it lasted
Did
like
they
an hour.
scrub your face?
Yeah, no, it was a whole thing. There
Yeah.
was moments where my skin was burning, then it was cooling, then
Oh,
it was
wait,
burning.
Did they give you like the wedding
Exfoliation?
facial? Because like the hydrofacial, I think is the facial that they give you because like you can do it and you walk out and it doesn't look.
I
like
felt like
anything
I was
happened.
glowing. I don't think I got a peel. I wasn't like red
If
or
your
anything.
face was burning and
There was
then
a
it
tingle
wasn't,
for a little bit.
that might be it on a light feel.
Yeah.
A light peel.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, certainly I probably could need
It
one.
looks good. I
looks
mean, your
great.
pores look great from here.
Thank you.
I can't even see pores
I
from
can't
here.
even see pores from here.
I mean,
Well, that I feel better. Thank you for. I need this.
Walk
I
into
need
the
this-
Be
I
confident.
need
Yes.
this hype. Yeah. Well, we have so much to get into.
so much.
Taylor Swift dropped a new album last week.
31 tracks.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
I'm really just. I'm just really interested in the song about Kim Kardashian.
Thank you,
Amy.
Amy.
I'm
So
really enjoying.
messy.
It's like sometimes when you're, when reality TV stars talk shit about each other, online, or you're just like, is this worth it? Do I need it? Do I need to do it? And you're like, fuck it, send it. I wonder if Taylor Swift was fully committed to the bit. I mean, she must have. She wrote a whole song. Do you think there was any conversations between her and her people, whoever? Maybe it's his Travis, maybe it's her manager, maybe it's Tree, her publicist. But where they're like, do we put this out? Do we? Or do you think she was fully committed?
I think she can do whatever she wants at this
Mm.
point. She owns everything. I feel like there's nobody to tell her no. And I love that it's very much like Easter eggs are her thing. But then I'm like, there's nothing subtle about
Right.
capitalizing the three letters that
Right.
spell out Kim.
She knew what she was
Right.
doing.
Yeah, it was intentional.
If you can read, you can get it.
I love the news. They're like, and people are speculating that it's about Kim Kardashian. It's like, and no, it's literally spelled
no,
out.
it's
Truly.
literally about her. Wait, question. So I haven't listened to the album, but it's like 30 something tracks. Is it are they all like full on songs or sort of interlude kind of things?
full on song.
there's
I
two
haven't
albums,
made my
though.
way
It's
through
two
yet.
It's a double
Yeah.
album.
So the original one has 16 songs, and then the anthology, which is like the next one, has like extras.
So she released one set at midnight, and then at 2 a.m. released the next 16.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. And this all songs, not
Mhm.
no sort of
Interlude
30-second interlude Easter egg
Intro, no.
intro.
Well, lots of Easter eggs.
I mean, everything is an
kinda.
Easter egg at
Yeah.
that point.
Okay.
So
Our music
Damn,
team
that's a
was
lo-
stressing because they'd actually gotten what they thought was the full album in advance, and then middle of the night, nope,
She was surprised.
whole other one.
So does the
Ouch.
Variety music team have code crackers for Taylor Swift? Because so
Yes.
much of what people
Yes,
listen to
my
her
colleague,
song is
my
for
colleague Chris Willman is a Taylor scholar and has covered her, known her, written cover stories about her since. I mean, he posted a picture this week in our Slack about. He was like, my memories are telling me that it's been 15 years since this tour or something, and it was like a picture of Taylor with his daughter who was little at the time, and so yes, and he did a what every song is about post and which he's done for every one of her records.
Has anyone
He's
checked
going
on
in
him this
that
morning?
Isn't
Is
it
he
a Harvard
okay?
class or
He
something like
worked
that
all
together?
weekend. He worked all weekend. So
Wow.
Anyone check on Kim this weekend? How is
people were commenting on her recent post. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Amy.
Oh,
So
yeah.
people connected the dots.
Well, I will say if there's
The
one
dots.
person who can survive an internet
Yeah.
bashing or trolling, it's Kim.
Kim,
She's got.
Yeah.
She always
Thick
comes out on
skin.
top, let's be honest.
She's bulletproof.
Yeah.
Kind of.
But other than that, we like the music.
I thought it was good. Yeah.
We also know that Taylor Swift plays pickleball. Did you see that? Did
Really?
you?
Oh, wow.
It's like a montage of it was playing pickleball, baking cinnamon rolls, doing
Cooking for Travi.
doing her leg extensions, a little gym moment for Taylor Swift in the video. We got a little insight. So
Wait, who was she playing pickleball with?
well,
Travis?
unclear, but she had a Kansas City Chiefs pickleball paddle.
So one could assume it was with Travis.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe.
Cute.
Casey Paddle.
Anytime we get to see Taylor doing normal things, you know.
Is pickleball normal though, or is that just like an LA thing?
No, it's
Because I'm not from LA and I never saw pickleball until like
Yeah,
I think it might
no,
have
it's
started
kind
in
of
LA.
now,
It's
like
new.
kind of like a thing
Okay.
everywhere now.
I feel like it's like a
Yeah.
country club sport that became mainstream.
Well,
Yeah, kind of. I'm gonna try not to hate on pickleball, but I hate on it. Whatever.
I'm a tennis
I play
person.
tennis.
Yes.
Yeah, and I
Oh,
play
well,
Tennis
Wow.
people
squash.
have
Oh,
feelings about
Yeah.
If you
pickleball.
play tennis, you're kind
Yeah.
of like cheaters.
But like I played for the first time over Thanksgiving up in the Bay. My cousin lives in the Bay and her husband is really into pickleball. And I'm like, fine. And then we went out. I'm like, okay, cool. I get it. Okay. Cool. But like some of it, they were so extra with it though. It was like, you're gonna do all of these strokes and like ground strokes. Just play tennis, dude. You look stupid. This ball is so like light. Like just play tennis.
Right.
If you're gonna just play it like you're playing like drunk ping pong, cool.
Yeah.
I'm with
Drunk
you.
ping
But if
pong.
you're trying to do ground strokes and shit, play tennis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna break your racket out of anger,
If you're gonna go baseline,
play tennis, yeah.
play tennis.
Yeah.
You look stupid right now.
That
But
makes
anyway,
sense.
That's my pickleball rant. But that said, I
Hard
would
to
love to
argue.
see Taylor and Travis play pickleball, and I would play with them if they invite me.
yeah, can we play doubles? Yeah, for sure. Well,
While I'm wearing Skims. Ow.
Oh.
Kidding. Oh my God, they're gonna come after me.
I'm actually wearing Skims right now.
I'm obsessed with Skims.
Yeah, they're pretty great. They're
so
good underwear. Also, friend of show,
Yep.
sponsor.
Well, the clothes are just great too, even just like not just the underwear and stuff. But anyway,
Do you
Sorry.
think Taylor put on some Skims and was like, "Fuck"?
you know she's wearing Skims.
She wears them in the privacy of her home.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just too good not to put on.
She
Just
just can't
can't
admit
accept
it.
them.
Yeah. You know who's going after Taylor? She's in her soft era,
Yeah.
but also going after Taylor. We won't get into Vanderpump later in the episode, but Lala Kent is bizarrely going after Taylor Swift. Did you see that?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why,
The
Lala?
Lala Endless Press Tour.
Yeah.
I mean,
It is
launched into the universe after that reunion taping. Endless.
endless, just full offensive. Yeah.
Also,
Why?
you know, the fact that James Kennedy was so happy that Taylor and Travis had been at his DJ set at Coachella, and
Yeah, Neon Carnival,
and then Lala goes after Taylor. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's weird. Like, Allie is a huge, like, there's no bigger Swiftie than Allie Luber, James's girlfriend. Like, I don't know.
It's
Lala,
really
calm
bizarre.
down.
And for those who don't know, Lala basically said that she's heard from multiple sources that Taylor and Travis's relationship is all for PR. That's what Lala Kent has claimed, which that's a rather strong accusation to make.
Yeah.
She did use the word allegedly to cover
Allegedly.
her ass because she was worried about being sued by Taylor. That wouldn't be my biggest concern if I were Lala. It would be more activating
The Swifties.
the Swifties
Yeah.
who don't care if you say allegedly.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
Yeah.
They just care if you put out the rumor. We'll get more obviously into Lala later in the episode, but I can say from sources or a source. And I don't know who Lala's sources are, but my source is watching the Super Bowl with Taylor Swift. And it's a very real relationship.
It looks very real to me.
And
hope
so,
so,
like,
too. I
and
mean, why
and
would-
real when I was
She doesn't
asking my
need
source
more
about like all the
Right.
exactly, she doesn't. What is Taylor? Why would Taylor
Right.
Swift do this? She's like,
Right.
she's bored alone. She's like, you know who I want to help right now? The NFL.
Truly.
Yeah.
You know
Come
what? You
on.
know who needs my help? I mean, I know the NFL has benefited from Taylor Swift, but like of all the organizations
Right.
who don't need more success,
Right.
if you're gonna help a sports league, like
Help pickleball, girl.
the WNBA,
WNBA.
yeah, like they're fighting for their
Women's
lives.
soccer,
yeah,
like, just women's sports.
I just don't
Yeah.
think this is the one that Taylor Swift's like. You know what? NFL needs my help.
I also saw the clips of them at Coachella and like they were so freaking cute.
They're
like him
so-
like lifting her up.
They're so cute. I mean, he's so hot. He's
He's-
so big and everything.
Or,
He's
like,
just lifting her.
Allie's
everywhere.
favorite moment with at the Super Bowl and she was like telling her security like I'm all good. I've got him.
Yeah.
Like come on.
Yeah.
Like she's not faking that.
She's not
Yeah.
faking
Yeah, I
that.
just don't. Why is Taylor?
She's
I mean,
not
why is-
faking
why is
anything. She's
Lala
living her best life with him. He's
so obsessed
hot.
with ruining her credibility
Yeah,
over
like,
Taylor Swift.
Who's
Yeah.
paying her to hang out with
Right.
Travis? Like you know what I mean?
Right,
Like where I'm
right.
like, come on.
Apparently, it's an NFL conspiracy,
Oh,
according to Lala,
God.
and multiple sources.
Well, it's like grab the tinfoil hat for me with the whole like because I've also heard that it's like it's all a political play for like the elections and all these things. And I was like,
we do need them to stay together until the election.
This is true.
agreed. But It's like the whole thing is that
your
it's
country
like,
depends on you, girl.
I don't think they got together for that purpose.
Yeah,
You know?
I think they're making cinnamon rolls together.
Truly.
And they're playing pickleball. This could not be more real.
Are they stoned?
Probably. No, they are. I feel like there's
Probably.
They're like
lyrics.
playing
makes sense,
pickleball. They're
actually.
making cinnamon rolls. They're at Coachella. He's lifting her up. They're carrying on. Like they're living their best. I love them.
Truly.
I
I
really
bet they
do.
smoke weed.
Yeah.
I have
In the off
Lavender
season.
haze.
and, yeah.
Oh.
This is just wild fan
Mm.
speculation. This is more of a like I
Is
hope.
that her strain?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just know there's a song called Lavender Haze, and
That is a song, but-
somebody has to have that as a strain because there's the purple haze and lavender haze.
Yeah.
Like I would actually smoke.
Yeah.
Lavender haze.
Yeah.
it's endorsed by Taylor Swift.
Right. It's a
Making more
hybrid. It's a
money
little
for
bit
her.
sativa, a little bit of indica, but a little bit of CBD in it
A
as
nice
well.
hybrid, yeah.
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 God, I want to smoke some weed right
Yeah. Happy 420.
Yeah.
I mean 422.
Yeah.
We're close.
Yeah.
What day is it?
Wait.
That's
I think
right.
it-
Yeah,
oh,
we-
having
yeah,
422.
yeah.
2 days off.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Yeah, I did smoke weed on 420. Good for me.
Yeah, I did a lot of
Didn't even know.
a
Yeah.
lot of weed. on 420.
Part of the reason why Kate is here is because a couple weeks ago we had the pleasure of interviewing Monica Garcia from Real Housewives,
Yes.
previously of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Amazing.
When the episode dropped, I was getting text messages from Kate.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I was getting live updates.
nearly
She's like, I'm an hour in
exploded.
the episode. Here are my thoughts. I'm like, you need to come on the show and share
Yeah.
this.
After like the 5th text, Nick was like, "Do you want to come on the show and talk about this?" I was like, "Yes, please."
Amazing.
Kate, as you guys know, works for Variety. And as many of you know, following the season of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, did a wonderful interview with Heather Gay, Andy Cohen, the showrunner of Salt Lake City, and another EP.
The woman who's in charge of it at the production company Shed.
And to kind of talk about, I guess, really the producers and Heather's side of the
Finale.
Monica fiasco, the reality
that's right.
Vontees. When we interviewed Monica, I mean, I don't think anyone's harder on Monica than
You
we
were really
Yeah.
good. You
pretty
grilled her.
harsh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you grilled her.
And even before we interviewed her, my stance was I felt very triggered when I remember watching it all go down the finale, and this first time watching Housewives that I ever gasped.
Mm.
Someone who's knows how the sausage is made. Very few moments where I'm always like, okay, all right, and,
Well, that was special though. That was a very.
It was special.
yeah.
I mean, one
Because
of the best.
it broke it broke the fourth wall in a sense.
Smashed it.
and
Absolutely.
so
Smashed it.
knowing what it would be like to I could, it was very easy to put myself in Heather and the rest of the women's shoes, thinking about what it would be like to become friends or friendly or colleagues or even professionally working with someone who was secretly trolling me behind an anonymous fan account.
Yes.
And so I was very triggered, being like, if I were Heather,
Right.
I'd be like, fuck this
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
I'm dead to you.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada. So we interviewed Monica. And I figured, okay, well, I want to hear her side. And she was convincing for us.
Guys.
She, now,
I'm
before we
breathing.
give
Yeah.
Kate the floor, I'm with you on, I felt like her story about telling these two mythical casting producers that somehow Monica allegedly said that she was part of Reality Vontees, and then they magically either got fired or disappeared without passing that very important information along. But they still passed Monica's information along without passing that information along.
Just let it go.
That seems suspect.
Right.
No
one will ever know.
Yeah.
You were convinced by the season.
The cease and desist I thought was a bit of a smoking gun. I was like, it's public record. It's out there.
Mm-mm.
I will say, and I'm really curious what you have to say, Kate, but my takeaway, I guess, I think all of our takeaway was, I definitely don't believe everything Monica's saying, but she convinced me enough that I was like, I guess I see where she's coming from, especially mostly on what seems clear is that she wasn't friends with any of these women at all, ever. These women didn't seem like they really did much to go out of their way to make her feel welcomed. So Monica's kind of stance is like, I don't really care about these people and fuck it. And I guess it's hard to argue against that. And I will say she's messy and fun and excellent television. And the fact that she came on here and out of nowhere dropped her pregnancy announcement, all while in a relationship. I mean, I don't. You even have a look about that. I don't. It's
You like that she had an answer for everything.
She
doesn't back down.
She's had
that
almost
one.
a year to come up with an answer for everything, and months since she flopped at the reunion, not answering anything.
She definitely did not answer anything at the reunion. So what do you got to say, Kate?
So where do I start? Okay.
Start from the beginning.
So I basically feel like, and by the way, I would not want Monica even to know my name. So I'm scared, and I might.
Should I be scared?
No, because she loved you. So like, she loved you guys. I would like to find Lala and be in whatever bunker she's hiding in now that the Swifties are coming out after her. But I feel like the way you personalized it was so effective to me, because you just kept saying, if I had hired someone, or if I was working with someone who had run a troll account, attacking me, here's how I would feel. And that was a very effective way of getting her to, I mean, those were traps I felt that she fell into. But yes, the casting thing, that's impossible. She later corrected herself. She corrected herself on this podcast saying it was just these producers who came to her house. But I mean, Heather says that she found out in Bermuda. She maintains that. They all say that they never would have cast her in the first place. They will love mess. They don't want that kind of mess. Like and if they had known from the beginning, if the show had known, if the women had known, then why didn't Monica, during the finale, say, you guys have known this the whole fucking time? Like, why wasn't that what she said?
I mean,
and why didn't she say that at the reunion?
She did say that at the reunion. She just got shut down right away.
Monica's stance here was that she either didn't get an opportunity because everyone was coming after her, or it didn't make the cut, which is a believable angle.
No. No, it's not. I mean, why? But why? Like, they don't want someone who is a troll on the show. Like, I truly believe that.
I believe that.
When you say they, are you saying producers, or are you
Bravo
saying the
in
women?
general?
Yes.
Producers.
That breaks the show.
Yeah.
That
I don't know
breaks
that
it.
I
I've
believe
talked to
that, though.
showrunners of other Bravo shows who are like, this is disruptive in a way. Like, this has fucked up other shows. The idea that a troll can get cast is very upsetting to the entire
ecosystem.
Yeah.
No, I can concur, and I work with Bravo. I have relationships with them. Sometimes I feel like I'm trying to convince certain people in that organization to almost modernize how they make the show and kind of embrace the ecosystem of pop culture, because I think sometimes they are old school to their detriment. But I agree with you that, like, the idea that they would be down for this, I don't buy at all, because I do think people think that, like, anyone who's making these shows, they'll do anything, and they're not. They don't want to lose control of, I guess, how everything is made, and letting Monica in, if they had known she was Reality Von Teese, is, as Kate is saying, it is such a problem that it's going to create more problems than like,
it's so insidious.
It's so short-sighted.
She exposed the holes in that hole.
It's so short-sighted that they don't want that. Like, they're not going to blow their wad on just one season for Real House of, they're going to set this new precedent on the Real House of Salt Lake City just to make sure that season 4 is a hit. They're just not going to do that. They're not that desperate.
It was a really good season already.
Yeah.
And that whole, like, Heather, what she says is that when she found out for real, and Tanisha sent her all the receipts that Monica was Reality Von Teese, she literally was like, we have been told multiple times not to bring things that happen on the internet into the show, because the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City are, for whatever reason, of and on the internet more than other casts.
Agreed,
things that happen, like things that affect them. And it might have to do with Utah culture also, maybe, kind of multi-level, whatever, like scammy things. I told
you, Kate, before we recorded, since that interview, I've never had so many messages from the people of a particular city. Everyone claiming to. There's a whole rap
There's
argument.
a Lisa Barlow. There were like people are just coming out of the woodwork saying,
Yeah, like
those
bizarre
things.
messages of like, you need to know this now that you had Monica on. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, it happens all the time. And they have been told nothing that happens on the internet is interesting. Keep it on the show. Keep it on the field. Like, this is a playing field. And so Heather was like, am I going to be allowed to bring this up at dinner to expose Monica? Like, I don't even know. And so she had to meet with Lori Gordon, who's the showrunner who was there in Bermuda, and say, I have learned something. I mean, obviously they busted in to her room, so they knew something was happening. But she was like, I have found out something very upsetting. Monica is Reality Von Teese. And all of them were like, who the fuck is that? Like, we have no idea who Reality Von Teese is. And then they didn't know. Like, Lori Gordon says she's not on Instagram. She doesn't even know about this. It had never come up. They had never discussed it as a cast. Like, there's a troll who's attacking all of us. Like, so when Heather was like, I want to tell the other women, she had never discussed Reality Von Teese with Lisa, with Whitney, with Meredith. And so she was like, I don't even know whether they're going to have the same reaction that I have. So when Lisa started crying, like the second she like saw Heather's face, like she was like, I felt very validated. And I knew that we were all going to be like in the Big Little Lies scene on the beach, like that we were all going to be as one with this, like united as a cast in a way that they never have been before. And so the plan for that dinner was they were going to expose Meredith. Like, it was like they had something like this, like, like expose Meredith for sending the DMs about Angie being in the mafia, like that was it was the last night of filming. And that was, and so the plan changed. And it was all, I mean, Heather was like, the second I found out that I was going to be allowed to do this, I started writing my speech, but the receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, that was like from what Monica said. So that was like a brilliant ad lib that I have on a candle from Etsy at home. But I just feel like, the whole thing about the cease and desist, it's not under the name. Like, why does she have so many names? But, it's not under the name that she went onto the show as. Like, how are you even going to find that? Like, I am a reporter who's like pretty good at my job. I have tried to find that in public records and I have been unable to. And
you can't find the alleged.
No, I mean, now I can. It's all over the place.
Okay.
It's all over Reddit. But like, it was sent to Monica Fowler. It was sent from Jen Shah, like, who's not telling the other women, by the way, Reality Von Teese is, who's been posting video from inside of my house.
Do you think there's a possibility that Monica knew the cease and desist was out there, and maybe she knows as much about cease and desist as I do, which is not much, and just assuming, well, she just kind of told herself that these women must know.
That's possible. But, what Lori Gordon and Lisa Shannon said, the people who are like behind the show, they said, if this had ever come up, like, or if Monica started feeling like, I'm getting to know these women, I'm getting to like some of them, I love Whitney, whatever, I have a secret, like, they would have helped her confess to them. Like, that would have been a great plot, like, I need to tell these women this thing. Like, they would have said, let's film it. Let's figure it out. Like, who do you want to tell
first? It would
first?
have been a shock thing. She could have been like, I realize now that I've gotten to know you, I feel this guilt. And she could have come like contrite. And then the women could have been torn. Do we forgive her? She even could have
played the reunion differently.
Yeah.
Like, she could have actually been sorry, and I don't know why she's not. And she signed her death warrant at that reunion, like, if she wanted to come back, like, there was a way.
You think there was a way?
I think there was a way. Yeah. I mean, maybe not. Maybe the women definitely were united against her and had talked to Andy at BravoCon about why it was so important. There wasn't a Real Housewives of Salt Lake City panel at BravoCon because they didn't want all of them on stage together until the reunion, which they like lied and said, oh, we're trying to mix it up this year. I mean, I just find it to be like, the thing that she can't explain is, why didn't you talk about it on camera if you thought the women knew? Like, that was your best question, I thought, of many good questions. But, like, Like, if you all knew this, then why didn't it come up? You know?
I have a question, and I'm not sure if you can answer because it's obviously like Heather's opinion. Obviously, like Monica said that Tanisha, her hairstylist,
Yes.
was also a part of Reality Von
Yeah.
Teese, and that she was the one that gave Heather the information.
Yeah.
So why does Tanisha get a pass for being a part of it, but Monica doesn't?
What makes you think Tanisha's gotten a pass?
Because she still works for her, or at least she was after all of this
No, it
came
sounds
out.
like
She posted
Tanisha
her.
no longer. I don't know if that's the case.
I don't know if Heather would ever say, like, I don't work with Tanisha anymore.
Okay.
I don't think she wants to say that publicly, but like,
Well, why not? Why?
well, I mean,
why-
because she doesn't want to. Tanisha's been good to her. You know, I mean, you know,
Well, what made Tanisha like?
Hand over
she
the
had
receipt.
I
Yeah.
mean, what
Heather
What
said
Heather
she had a
says-
good faith of conscience.
Yeah, right.
Is what
She had
it
a
was.
crisis. Yeah.
Well, I guess
Christ of conscience,
that's
yeah.
where I get lost a little bit. Is
Mm.
this? Again back to if I'm putting myself in Heather's shoes, I can totally understand why Heather would be so triggered by anyone being a part of this, especially Monica. But if Tanisha is in any way involved, even if she is kind of behind the scenes, like separating herself from Tanisha, but publicly, like, not want, Tanisha's been good to me, but why is she showing grace to Tanisha, but not Monica?
Yeah.
She wouldn't have known. I mean, I can't speak for Heather, but like, I think she would say, I wouldn't have known this for a fact. Tanisha did send them all of the videos about like Monica stalking Jen. What was it? 20 times that they said during the reunion. Like that is
lot,
not
yeah.
normal. Like, and the fact that she claims, I don't like, how do we know that she was a witness against Jen Shaw? Like, I don't know that any of these things are true.
You have
So-
a hard time believing anything.
I
Monica
do.
says.
I mean, and again, Monica, don't. I'm scared, but I just, to me, it's like, she's like, if she's talking, she's lying. And also like it didn't, and I don't, Reality Von Teese on Twitter was tweeting the entire season
Hmm.
and talking shit about all of them. I don't know if that was Monica. I kind of assume it was. But the Twitter account was like, when they get to Bermuda and Meredith is sick and like has to be in bed, not in a bathtub, and so like Meredith tweeted a picture of herself in bed and was like, "This is what life without a bathtub is," or something. And the Reality Von Teese account was like, or withdrawal from benzos, boo, whatever you want to call it. And it's just like, did that come up at the reunion that this wasn't even, and all of that stuff has been purged. Like that's not on the Twitter account anymore.
Was Reality Von Teese talking shit about Monica throughout the
Nope.
Yeah.
on social media at
That was
all?
good.
Reality
So
Von
was that the
Teese was
only- Yeah,
liking
something.
and retweeting.
So
So supporting
Monica was the
Monica.
only
Yeah.
person that wasn't getting lit up by Reality Von Teese throughout the
Correct.
season.
I mean, listen again.
Interesting.
Well, she knew by then that they all knew because they'd filmed the Bermuda scene.
But,
But
I would have thought like she would have been just to make it look like it's not you, girl.
Neutral,
right?
yeah.
Well,
Like-
Monica's made it very
Monica
clear that
looks
she
terrible.
doesn't
Right.
give a fuck what any of these women think, and so she's made that clear. And
Yeah.
I still stand, regardless of getting to know Monica and her charming us, that like if I'm Heather, I'm pissed. Like to me, my read on Monica after interviewing was more like I would still be mad if I was Heather. I don't know if she's telling the full truth, but I guess Monica explained her side in a way that made me go, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I don't necessarily agree with you, but I guess I can see why Monica thinks this way. Like, I think Monica convinced herself, if nothing else, that these women knew. Whether she actually believed it or not, she just kind of convinced herself to justify that she was doing it almost. Another thing that works for Monica and against Heather is Heather's comments about Jen.
why did she say that?
It's just like, I hope, Jen, you're watching, still coming across as needing Jen Shaw's approval and validation, I thought was damning.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Yeah.
it kind of it made me,
I think
completely
Heather is in an
question Heather
abuse cycle
altogether.
with Jen that we can't understand, And like the fact is, like Heather was physically assaulted.
Yeah.
She seems not to remember. I'm sure that's very scary. We're never going to get the true story of that black eye. As someone who's interviewed Heather, who likes her very much, she did not cover herself in glory with that. And obviously, and she, I thought, delivered a heartfelt apology and also to like the production and, you know, all the women and I don't know. I mean, that was like a moment where it was like, ooh, oh no, you know, like, why do you care what Jen Shaw thinks? You know? But I
Yeah.
don't think any of us in this room understand the power of Jen Shaw, you know? Like it seems scary to me. And
No,
I
truly.
understand the power of Jen Shaw because I saw her boots
Oh,
in person.
her stilettos.
Her stiletto, there's like python. She was getting her hair done at my friend's salon in New York. This is before the Housewives like actually happened. And I walked into the salon and I turned and first thing I saw like these like thigh high python stiletto boots. And I was just like, oh, what is that? And I was like, oh, hi. And she introduced us and everything. I was like, oh, okay. And then cut to, I don't know how many, I think it might have been like maybe a year or so later. Then it was like the Housewives. And I was like, oh my God, that was the one with those. And she rocked those boots on the show.
Yeah.
Was, it,
Oh my
was it
God.
snowing? Because she was known to like walk stilettos in the snow.
I don't know if it was snowing. Yeah. You know what? Those boots, you're not really walking.
That's a power
that much.
move.
Yeah.
That is a
Yeah.
power move. She's going from the car to
But-
the salon.
Exactly. And then back again. So
Small
anyway, so-
world.
I don't think they knew. And I feel like, I don't know. I don't know how much she says is
Can
true.
I play devil's advocate for a second?
Yeah.
You love Monica.
He does.
Okay.
He does.
I love Monica, but I'm also a diehard for all Salt Lake City housewives. Sarah knows.
Yep.
Like from season 1, if you're on the show, I'm like in love with you.
Mm-hmm.
I will say like fan accounts and troll accounts are like a thread within the whole existence of Salt Lake City
Yes.
housewives. And that's where I kind of operate on. I think someone had to know at some point, whether it's the cast or production, like Angie H, her and her husband had a fan account.
For sure.
Like Jen Shaw season 2 was tweeting stuff and then it was like, that's not me, that's someone else. So there's been arguments of trolling
Mm.
like throughout the existence of the show.
Yeah.
And then even like Lisa, she has gone and been like, I have 4 lawyers. Like everybody has said they have resources. Timelines are like a big thing for the show. So for even Lisa to have like an issue with Monica, you would assume that with the history that she would have researched and had someone dig up a public record.
Yeah.
That's
very
with
obvious.
you
They do
on that.
background
Kinda-
checks.
it's-
They do background checks, but it's like, how would, I mean, the cease and desist, I don't really know why that would slip through the cracks, but the
I-
troll accounts are
I
hard.
think easily. To your point, I mean, I think there's a huge misconception across the board of reality TV when it comes to background checks, whether it's The Bachelor or Love is Blind or Housewives. Anytime something comes out on these
Yeah.
casts, people are just like, don't they do a background check?
Like, what kind of background
what
check
kind-
are
like,
you really
yeah,
doing?
there's
It's not for a government job.
exactly. They're trying to. They're not trading like top
Yeah.
secret weapon information where you
Did
have
they
to.
murder somebody? No.
Yeah.
Okay, they good.
Yeah.
They find your
Right.
social.
I'm saying more
they
like
find your-
socially though, is
Yeah.
like what I'm saying. Like not like an actual background check, but
Right.
even like Jen
But-
Shaw accused Meredith of having
But like,
FBI.
how do you
like,
do that? I mean, think about background checks. You know, a photo comes out. It's like, did they post that photo, or did someone friends post that photo? Then it comes out after that person gets famous. There's like
Yeah.
so many layers of a background
Yeah.
check. And think about background checks. They're not just doing background checks on the people who make it on the show. They have to do background checks on the people that don't make it on the show. So
Right.
you're talking potential hundreds
Yeah.
of background checks that these shows and networks have to do. They don't have that type of bandwidth.
I
so
just-
yeah, they're not doing a
yeah.
huge deep
I
dive
don't think
on
it's the-
background checks.
I don't think it's the
talking
network though. I'm
personal.
thinking
Yeah,
like
he's
I'm saying
talking
personal because
personal.
even this like recent
Mm.
season, it's rumored that one of the new housewives
Yeah.
has another fake account.
Mhm.
So in my head, I kind of operate on the idea that even like the making a scene with Variety to me as an audience member seemed kind of like cleanup, like damage control of like
We went to them with that. We had to
Okay.
beg them to put that. It's funny because in the YouTube, all the comments are like, "This is PR." I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't understand the hoops we had to jump through to get this done. Like we had to, force it, and so that was not an easy thing to put together. And they didn't necessarily want to address it.
mm,
And it's also like I had to with the two executives, I had to say when I interviewed them, I was like, this is going to come out after the 3rd reunion episode. I've heard Monica isn't coming back. Can you talk about that? And we were supposed to break that news, but then Dave Quinn from People, earlier in the day. So damn it, Dave. But I think they wanted to clear it up, but it wasn't something that we really had to push for that. So
yeah, that makes sense.
It is interesting that you say that, though. Yes, last week we interviewed Gertie from
Yeah.
Real Housewives of
Love her.
Love
Miami.
Gertie.
And it was like, I will say that my takeaway, I'm fairly new to Miami, but you're right. It seems like completely two different worlds. It seems like Real Housewives of Miami is a group of women that are all performers and like they're to make a show and they're kind of, it almost seems like they're playing characters, where Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, it's like they're out for blood. Like this is, it's a whole, they are the real housewives of Salt Lake City. Where it's like the Real Housewives of Miami, where like they're all this kind of, that's the impression I have. They're kind of playing a character, they're playing a role, they're kind of pretending to be messy. They don't really care, but like Housewives, again, like Meredith, she's doing all these getting tea and dirt on people. It's like watching Don't Piss Off Meredith just because she might find shit on you.
Want me to
It's
say
just
what I
like,
know about her husband?
Right.
but that's
They got something to prove in Salt Lake City, I
Yeah.
feel like, too. Because, like, they got slept on for so long.
Yeah.
And those bitches are ruthless.
Love them,
They
yeah.
messy as hell. Up in the mountains, the altitude does something to you.
A couple
That's not-
glasses.
Yeah, like, I don't know what they're doing up there, but, like, yeah, it's a totally different, like, vibe.
All right, we'll move on from Monica. This is my one, but I will say this: my one takeaway, the final thought. What Monica was able to do, at least for me, is at least get me to be open-minded to the fact that all these women are just have their own angle. They're that messy, and this was just Monica's way, and she's just operating under the assumption that like, what's wrong with my account when they have all their bullshit and shady shit that they're doing? You know what I'm saying? And she's just like, she just sees them as hypocrites. And it's kind of hard to argue against that because while I know how I would feel if I were them, I am also not doing some of the other things that her, the Merediths and the Heathers seem to also be doing when they're playing the game. And
I don't know.
Yeah, I
She
feel you.
just-
I feel you on that. I kind of fuck with Monica like that, too.
She just like she seems to. I mean, again, Monica, I'm scared of you. But like she says, I have a 3,000 square foot house, as if we're supposed to feel sorry for her
Monica
about
says that?
Yeah,
it's bigger than my house.
and
a big
and then
house.
someone found it on Zillow and was like, it's square feet. Like it's like she can't tell the truth. So
Okay.
I wish her pregnancy well. And
wait, I missed
oh,
that part.
he
Yeah,
broke
no,
the news.
she-
They broke the
wait,
news.
She was
She's
like,
pregnant by who? Did she say who?
her
Braxton.
Braxton. He is
Braxton?
10 years her
Her
junior,
new
I believe.
man.
Oh,
When they went on
wow.
the snowmobile
Yeah.
trip?
with Heather and
Yeah.
Monica.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Wait, so how many she's got? This will be 5 or 4?
This will be 5.
This will be 5?
She would have been fun to watch this season.
I mean, I feel like she's gonna come back, like sit out a cycle or two, and then everyone will forget him, and then she'll come back.
She was a good bookend for like the Jen Shaw era of Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
Like I think she served her purpose, and it was
Yeah.
good that there's like a close on that now.
Yeah.
They just wrapped. I think they're done
Yeah.
filming season 5. So
They filmed in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
I know
What?
that was.
I'm from there, which
cast-
is why
I mean-
I messaged Whitney when I saw the photos. I'm like, why are you guys in Milwaukee?
They
did
get
not
really
share.
shafted on the
Yeah.
cast trips. Like the Bermuda was great for them, but like the San Diego Airbnb,
Yeah, we're
like
going
I
to
was
San
like,
Diego. Everyone's like,
I will say
"Yay."
this is a funny thing that when Jen Shaw was there was jokes from the Housewives that because she was in active litigation, they couldn't leave the country.
Yeah.
that was
so that's
true.
why San Diego happened
Yeah.
because they couldn't go anywhere
I was
else.
going to say, that
was
wasn't a joke.
absolutely
That was
true.
fact.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
So-
think she had her passport.
Right.
You know. All right.
Speaking of passports, anybody see the Spice Girls reunion? That was really
I
epic.
did see the photos. Yeah.
No. Wait, at her birthday party?
Yeah,
Yeah,
David Beckham posted a video, and all 5 girls are together
Posh
Oh my
dancing,
God.
singing,
Yeah.
doing their old choreography. And I went to the Spice Girls reunion 10, 15 years ago.
Amazing.
Like seeing that just made my little inner child. They were also my
Yeah.
first concert, so it was just like my
Aw,
little inner child
yay.
was like, "This is epic."
Sick. That's what I think of.
Is that it?
That's amazing.
Were you? Are you too young to appreciate the Spice Girls?
I know Wannabe.
Aw.
So
Yeah.
I know the main one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were pretty big. Yeah.
They were huge.
Massive.
I know they're
Huge.
big.
Massive.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
how big they are.
They were huge.
They dissolved by the time I was popped out the womb, I think.
Aw.
So yeah.
like
Jesus
she,
Christ.
Adorable.
It's like most people figured out who David Beckham was when he started dating Victoria.
1,000%.
Right?
That's right.
She put him on the map for a lot of people. It's kind of like your first Taylor and Travis.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a good analogy actually, yeah.
Yeah, they're like the first. They are the true royals.
David Beckham and Victoria Beckham are
Yeah.
my royals. When that docuseries came out,
So good.
my boyfriend comes in and goes, "You're watching a documentary on David Beckham." And I'm like, "No, I'm just waiting for Victoria." But like,
Exactly.
it did make me fall in love with him so much more, and just the both of them as general. Like, I'm obsessed. I bow down.
Yeah.
He's the only celebrity I have to take a selfie with. Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
really?
Very
Where'd
nice.
you meet him?
I was at a coffee shop in Venice. I've told this story a few times, but I was living in Venice at the time, and I saw him, and I'm like, "Oh, is that David Beckham?" And he drove a Lamborghini. He parked it. He got a parking ticket, and he was actually frustrated about the parking ticket. And I'm thinking, David, you're so rich. Who cares? I thought this
It's
to
the
myself.
principle.
It
Yeah.
gives it celebrities. They're just
Yeah.
like us.
And then I was like, "Hey man, I'm a big fan. Can I have a pic?" And he graciously said yes. And then I've told this story multiple times. I've been asked to take a pic or two in my day, and I always get it's for my mom, it's for my grandma, and I'm always like rolling my eyes because it's like, okay, that's fine. You don't want to call yourself out,
Right,
but
exactly.
I'm taking a picture with David Beckham mid selfie. I go, my sisters are gonna love this, and I thought to myself, what are you doing?
Why
I
did you
go,
say that?
I go,
I love this.
I'm like, this is for me. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said
I don't know
that.
why I said that.
And then I'm like, I have
Aw.
a small following. Are you okay if I post this? He's like, no problem. And then he commented on it.
Oh,
nice.
He was
That's
very,
so cool.
very gracious, very lovely.
What
And
color was his Lamborghini?
I believe black.
Wow.
believe
You know what?
black.
I respect that.
Yeah, I
I
could be
respect
wrong.
that. I was like, God, please let it not be yellow.
Very handsome in person. Yeah.
I don't think there's anything that man can do that's not sexy. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
he
true.
is just
He's
cream
hot.
of the crop.
Even
Yeah.
the way he parked a car.
Truly.
It's really great.
And like the way you got that ticket.
Right?
Although, I mean, I will say, like, I feel like driving a Lamborghini and being David Beckham is kind of an ick almost. If I was going to be critical, because you're David Beckham and you're already kind of drawing attention to
What do you want him
yourself.
in? Like a Honda Civic?
Yeah, he can't be low key, that dude. I don't think.
Like
right?
a Prius?
Yeah, I'm like-
Right.
I would kind of love it.
He like is responsible for like the resurgence of the LA Galaxy. Like I'm like I'm assuming
I
at that time if he's
mean-
living in LA, that I'm like, come on.
It's just like, I guess a Lamborghini in general in LA is kind of
Yeah.
like, you can't go fast.
Yeah, that's true.
Where are you going?
Right. That's not low key.
I'll take a
Aw.
Lamborghini in LA any day over a Lamborghini in Manhattan. Like when people drive like cars like that.
Yeah, okay.
And
okay.
I'm like, where are you going? Where are you
Okay.
going?
Is
That's
there
a
much of a difference?
There is.
I mean,
we have the
at least in
405.
LA, you have freeways. You can take the 2 up into the canyons and stuff. You
Go-
can do some things.
Malibu,
Yeah,
No.
it's not the same thing in New York.
gridlock
All right.
traffic.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday to Victoria. It was a wonderful party. We all wish we were there.
Aw,
and,
yay!
and it's good to see all the Spice Girls together.
Yeah.
They're all looking great, too.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
like, reunion tour part 2, please.
Good for them.
When was that last one? 10 years ago?
Oh, girl, I don't know. I don't want to age myself with Justin. He's the only person that ages me.
The weather is getting so much better here in LA.
Mm.
And, it's finally time to ditch the jackets and the sweaters for shorts and for tank tops. And, I used to waste so much money on clothes that would only last a season. And now I'm investing in great quality clothes. And it's so easy to do that with Quince. Quince has high quality pieces that never go out of style, and you'll be wearing them year after year after year after year. They have really, really, really nice European linen shirts from $30. They have performance polos, versatile flow knit activewear, and all of Quince's items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands.
Yeah, it's really remarkable. I love buying Natalie items on Quince because, first of all, I always know I'm getting her something unique, and it's incredible how affordable it is. It's almost shocking. We also feel really good by partnering with Quince because Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturer practices along with premium fabrics and finishes, which we all love. Upgrade your wardrobe. Go to quince.com/VIALL for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/VIALL to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/VIALL. Baby, your hair looks stunning.
Listen, I
Stunning.
actually went and saw a couple of friends that I hadn't seen in a while yesterday, and they were like, your hair is so long and looks so thick. And I was like, it's Nutrafol.
Yeah.
Genuinely, it is Nutrafol. I take it every single night. I don't think I've ever loved a product more. I used it before I got pregnant, and my hair was in the best shape it had ever been.
And I just
And
want to give a little shout out because our draining system in the shower says thank you as well. Actually, they sent me a note and said, hey, just to give a shout out and a thank you to Natalie and Nutrafol because we have less hair in the shower thanks to them.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Yes, I did have a lot of shedding. I would collect it on the shower walls, but not anymore, thanks to Nutrafol. They are the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement with over 1 million people seeing thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding. I am one of those million people. So this Mother's Day, share the gift of growth with a special woman in your life, whether it's your mother, your aunt, or your friend. Nutrafol is a unique and thoughtful gift with a lasting impact. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and use the promo code Viall Files.
Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and hairstylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com. Promo code The Viall Files. That's Nutrafol.com. Promo code The Viall Files. All right, should we get into Summer House?
Yes,
Hey, okay. Well,
I love Summer House and Winter House. I love all the houses.
what's your favorite storyline of Summer House this season?
The season, I mean, I don't know if it's my favorite, but the one that's kind of like, I mean, the Lindsay and Carl thing is really uncomfortable.
For the first time, I was mentioning to Kate before we started recording, for the first time this season, I was Team Lindsay. I think it's a very interesting discussion when talking about, how you support your partner in their business career.
Mhm.
And I think it's very nuanced.
Yes.
And depending on kind of like where you are at in life, and how you're watching the show, it can be very, again, nuanced which side you take.
Agree.
Because you could watch it very easily and have be Team Carl all season, and Lindsay with her kind of very directness, her harshness can be like, this is just more of the same of Lindsay just kind of beating down Carl and being hard on him. That wouldn't be that hard of a take to have. Except that, like, in the reality, in life, there are doers and there are dreamers, and we all know a dreamer or two. We know those people who every, couple weeks they have a $1 million idea, a can't miss idea, and they're very good at selling it to the point where you're like, well, maybe
Maybe this is
non-alcoholic bar would be like a smash hit. I don't know, but also probably not,
Right.
And the more I heard Carl talking about his frustrations with Lindsay, the more I sided with Lindsay, because maybe Lindsay lacked the tact or the softness that, maybe she could learn from Lala. But yeah, Carl kind of seems like a bit of a dreamer. And they're at this point, they're set to be married. And these are some of the tough conversations young couples have to have, where it's like, hey man, are you gonna at some point I need you to produce.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know what you all think, but I kind of understood where Lindsay was coming from.
I agree. Because I think all along I was kind of like, come on, girl, relax. And then it's like, oh, there's a lot going on between the two of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're right. It's like, it's very nuanced. But I think in the beginning, it was sort of easy to sort of side with him because of how she comes across or her methods or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think just like how the girls on the show were like, oh, damn, we kind of feel bad for her. Because like when she starts revealing like sort of what's going on in their lives. She's saying a little too much about their sex life, poor guy. But she's being real about what she's going through. Then it's like, oh, damn, she's a human being. They're both kind of going through. It's not. Yeah, it's just. I feel bad for both of them, really.
At the same time,
for both of them.
You're right. At the same time,
before I didn't, and now I feel for her as well.
I see Lindsay's side, but the more she talks, the more she's like, you two aren't compatible.
Right.
Lindsay's looking for a finished product.
Yeah.
And Carl's not. And she is doing the classic case of trying to coach him up and trying to fix him and trying to make him in the man that she wants.
He has so much potential.
But she's not looking for potential. She's looking for a finished product and expecting him to be a potential. And like, whether Carl is a dreamer or not, every partner does. In Carl's defense, wants someone who does believe in them and that supports them.
Yeah,
and like,
exactly.
Someone does need that. And if you don't have that, then it's kind of like, you guys just...
Yeah, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
What are y'all doing?
So back to Carl's argument, Lindsay comes here and just like, I was blindsided. Lindsay could not, like, the fact that Lindsay came on this show and talked about being blindsided and her argument for this.
I don't see how she's going to come back from that.
Yeah.
Like, that's my worry for Lindsay. Like, I like both of them. My worry, and I think Kyle said this on the after show this week, the after shows have totally changed the way these shows have gone, by the way.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they hear each other talking shit before the reunion, I think is like a big actual factor in how these are going to go.
Yeah, there's
They're
so much
so
more meat on the
good.
bone.
So
Yeah.
good. They're so good. And Summer House started doing them only recently, but Kyle was like, blindsided? Like, why? You know, like,
Yeah.
I just don't understand how that will ever go over. But yeah, I mean, the thing that is also weird about these shows sometimes is that Carl can't say, actually, I'm a reality TV star and I'm on a show that we're both on and that's how we met. You know, like, I am well paid.
He does have a job.
Yes.
He has a job. And, you know, so that
like
part
he's
is a
broke.
little tough and kind of frustrating, actually.
Yeah.
Like, I know that Bravo really hates breaking the fourth wall, which is, I think, what you were mentioning, you know, but it's like,
Bravo needs to figure out a happy medium.
yeah, because
can't-
it's just not a genuine conversation. Like,
Right.
we're
Pretend it's not-
working
yes.
right now,
Right.
Lindsay. Like, I am working.
You're
Yeah,
TV
right.
stars.
Exactly.
You have
At the
millions.
bare
Lots
minimum,
of followers on
I'm bringing
Instagram.
in
and
millions, yes.
he hasn't,
Yeah.
you know, monetized it in the way she has. Like, she used to
Right.
have a daytime day job and doesn't anymore. And she really was like, you know, worked her way up in publicity. Like, friends of mine who, you know, totally know her from when she was like an assistant. But, you know, he has a job.
Yeah.
And I wish that's the part where I wish Bravo would grow. They would, you know, adapt to the new times to pretend they're not filming a TV show. We talk on Vanderpump. It's just like every week, Lisa Vanderpump has to give this kind of condescending advice and sound like a terrible restaurant manager because she's like, I should fire you. And blah, blah. Well, of course
Like,
you're not going to fire her
girl,
because
you
they're
ain't
your
firing
best
nobody.
TV,
Right,
you know? And
right.
it's like, it just kind of discredits their characters. I think there's a happy medium.
Yeah.
You know, I think, for example, I think Lindsay could go to Carl and say, hey, listen, like, being a reality TV star can't be your only plan because eventually the show won't be here. And what is your plan in 5 or 10 years? Because that's a legitimate question and a legitimate concern that Lindsay can have of Carl of like, this can't be your thing. This can't be your plan. How are you going to take this opportunity and turn it into something sustainable that will support us and our family in years to come when this show doesn't exist? That's a real conversation.
Right.
That's a real question. And like, to pretend that Carl doesn't have a job is so disingenuous. I just don't know why the show does that.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm deeply worried about Summer House season 9. Like, what are they going to do? Are they going to do alternate weekends? Like, what? They
I don't know.
can't be in the same house.
So much of what's making this season so enjoyable is all the fighting of couples and the relationships.
So much tension.
Yeah.
Do we know when we're going to see the breakup?
I would assume towards the end because we still have to go to her bridal shower, which he shows up for. And I think it's like 2 weeks after that is when he pulled the plug. So
Yeah.
How many more episodes?
it'll probably be the final
Probably
episode.
probably the final episode
Yeah.
going into the,
That's
is
what
my
I would guess. And I also, going back to what we were talking about with Carl finding a job and whatnot, I can't remember where I heard this, but somebody said, don't fall in love with somebody for their potential.
Right.
Because it's like you're
You're setting
creating-
yourself up.
Yeah, you're creating this image
Yeah.
of who they're going to be. And it's not fair to them. And it's also
Right.
not reality.
Right.
Also, and I will say I side with Lindsay this episode because it is, there's something very attractive about a person who knows what they want in life. And if I was in my 20s, I'd be like, okay. In my
Right.
30s, it's like, you know, and Carl's in his
Right.
40s. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, this isn't cute trying to figure out what it is you
Yeah.
want to do with your life while we're talking about walking down the aisle.
Yeah.
Right. But you also like got with him when he's in the state too. You know what
This
I'm
is
saying?
also
Like
true.
you've known him for a minute because of the show. You've seen him, you know he's sensitive. I mean, I'm not trying to stick up for Carl, but it's sort of like also like don't date someone for the potential, but also like you also went into this and now it's not what you think. So
Well, Carl's the only one that's been through like 3 different jobs,
Yeah.
career switches
Yeah.
on the show.
yeah,
You know,
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, I get where Lindsay's coming from that, but
this is who he
It
is who he is and was.
it's
Yeah.
still,
And so now you can't be like, well, you're not
Yeah.
who I want you to be. Well, you should go with somebody who you want.
you
And-
like for who they are.
and
Exactly.
you still can't say you were blindsided when
Right.
all you have done all season is
Right.
tell him how he's not good enough to be your husband.
Right.
It's like,
Can they stop taking Lyfts and Ubers too, please? Like,
Yes.
we need cameras on them at all times.
truly.
I have made this complaint multiple times.
Wait, what do you
It's like
mean?
Below Deck does
Well,
it.
the two major fights that they've gotten into
right.
on their way back from wherever when she's accused him of not being sober, which is terrible and low. And she's apologized for it since.
Ish.
They've both been in, you know, in rideshare cars.
Yeah.
Like
giant fights. And then we're just like,
So then we
the
miss
he
it
said, she
because the
said.
cameras are right.
And I think that in the episode since then, they've only been taking their cars with cameras in them, right? I mean, because and Carl said that thing in a confessional where he was like, I wish the cameras had been on when she said this to me, you know, and it's like, yeah, I wish so too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the Lisa Rinna, the sprinter in
Denver.
yeah.
Yeah.
Aspen.
Yeah.
But maybe Lindsay knows better.
That's right.
Lindsay's no dummy.
No, she's
Right.
no dummy.
Yeah.
Do we think Sierra's waiting for West's potential?
I
No,
don't
I think
think-
no,
I think-
Sierra's pretending to be in a relationship with West.
Or she's just having fun.
I think
this
she's having
summer.
fun.
I think it's always nice to like know that somebody likes you.
Yeah.
But like it's not giving reciprocation to
Oh
the
yeah,
fullest
the
degree.
text message conversation from last week what was it?
I miss
I'm going to
you.
bed. I miss you. She writes back, same. See you tomorrow. It's never same.
Do we know whether are they not together? Do we know? Like, because
Well,
they
I saw
put,
her watch. I don't think they are.
I don't
think
think
they
they
are.
are.
Because when she was on Watch What Happens with that who's that hot guy she was on with
Oh yeah, watch what
Your-
happens. Like
your
Tyler
buddy.
Cameron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
on with Tyler
Yeah.
Cameron. Was
Yeah.
she hitting on Tyler?
Well, I think I feel like
kinda
Andy
felt
kind
like
of
it.
like wanted to sort of like kind of get because they looked amazing together.
Yeah, I was like, Tyler was like, I'm just talking to somebody. I'm not like dating. Like he
Right,
was trying to
right.
like downplay it.
Yeah.
but
He's
did West
cute.
post pictures of? Was it West who posted pictures of? She went home
Yeah,
wherever
she went to
he's-
visit. to his
That's
family.
that's how we
farm or
found out
something.
about it.
Yeah.
I think before the season
Okay.
started, it
But
was
again,
like,
why
okay.
is it's all coming from West. So like
Mm.
West
Well,
wants
she
this to
she talked
get out
about it
there.
on that show too, but then like it doesn't seem like there's anything because I guess he's younger than her, which I didn't realize on the show that he's younger,
And she's used to dating.
older,
men.
and then he kind of didn't have his stuff together. But then like they
He
hung
got
out.
that job at Complex. We know that.
Yeah.
He
Had
no, he did. He
did
He
get
has
it?
it now. Yeah.
He has
He
it
got-
now.
he
Oh, he's
went-
got a
Yeah,
show.
he
Oh,
does
okay.
it. Yeah, yeah.
I think
Okay.
He
at the-
tweets all the time from, he's like the Complex social.
I love him
some
so much.
reporter.
I do like
It is a
him.
tough.
I do
It is.
like him.
It's a
I
very
do
tough
like
beat, though. He
him.
seems charming. He seems nice,
Yeah.
but somewhere, somehow, because of how he's played this relationship, it's kind of backfired because now he has to defend not trying to force Sierra into having sex with him. It's kind of a weird.
It's just weird.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
so
look, I just
awkward.
think they were
It's
having
so
fun.
awkward.
It's so awkward. Like, here's this nice guy. We seemingly nice. A lot of people are like, "Oh my god, I finally like a guy on reality TV," and then
Mhm.
now it's all of a sudden like, "Well, I don't want to make her have sex with me," and she's using language like it's my body.
Yeah, it's like,
oh
just stay
god,
away
like
from that.
I don't
Yeah.
Don't
like.
touch that. Yeah.
But like, it was Wes's fault. I mean, he kind of made too many. Like, stop making jokes about the girl you're seeing not putting out. It's kind of a weird thing to say for an adult man.
He has friend zoned himself.
Yes.
Yeah, there was also a very telling conversation, and maybe an episode or two ago, where Paige had asked him like how many times they've gone on dates, and he said like twice. Where I'm like, if you guys are on your 5th, 6th weekend, but you've only gone on dates in the city together twice, like why would you expect? Like if you guys aren't like having like Netflix and chill nights or like dinner nights together, then I'm like, I'm not putting out after 6 weeks of seeing you every other weekend. Am I crazy for that?
No, but I
No.
think in his defense,
True.
Like
he really likes her, and I think she's just like, well, this is a good storyline. I think it's a showman's for her.
I just wonder if he would have given more
I mean,
effort.
both. It's a showman's and a storyline. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice. He's got a warm body. He's cute. He's
Yeah.
fun.
They're both
you
goofy,
know.
so it makes sense.
Yeah,
too.
exactly. They party. They're like having fun. They're snuggling,
But
but he ain't
they're-
gonna get none. But whatever.
Yeah.
She gonna keep leading him on. She's
Yeah.
super high. He's drooling over her. She's having a great time, and whatever. Keep it moving. I mean, I wish somebody. Did anyone hook up with Balloon Guy?
I don't think
No.
Did anyone? No one hooked up with.
I
But
Balloon
think in
Guy?
his
the moment he
street- I think
opened
in
his
street
mouth,
clothes.
the moment he opened his mouth, he got aggressive with what did he say? Who was it to?
Did he get aggressive?
I thought he said something kind of weird. I forgot who he was talking to, but it was the first time he opened his mouth, and he was kind of doing that thing where guys tease,
Mhm.
when they're trying to
I think it was
flirt.
with Gabby. I
nagging
think,
But it
her.
comes
Yeah.
across as
Yeah.
almost a little too aggressive, and
Yeah.
like, we're not that close, and why are you teasing me in that
Just
way?
shut up.
It kind of felt a little awkward, where it's just like, you're too good looking, handsome to have to try that hard. We all seen
But the
guys like
jeans,
that. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
jeans really ruined it for me.
The outfit.
When he came
like,
back
when he
in
came
his
back.
mhm.
the outfit change.
Yep, those
But
ripped
those are
distressed
cosmetic. I mean, I
jeans.
feel like somebody still should have hooked up with him. I mean, like, that's cosmetic. Shut your mouth. Take your clothes off, be quiet, come over here. Like somebody, they
He
could have
can-
made it happen. I'm
he
sorry.
can cook later.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know.
I mean,
I was
I'm saying
disappointed
this
no
in-
one hooked up with him.
I'm saying this in front of Nick, but Summer House is so invasive. Like, I don't understand how anyone would get together for the first time with someone in that. Like, you have a camera in your bedroom. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
it is
paradise,
really invasive.
fantasy suites. It's like, well, I can tell
like
you how.
when Jesse puts the t-shirt over.
That was aggressive.
Yeah.
But it was also courtesy for the woman, his partner.
Sure.
You know, like, and it's like, well, just so you know, they won't have the footage of it. But a lot of them like go in the bathroom and like the closet and whatnot,
I mean,
which
they
I'm
were,
like,
they were making out in the hot. Weren't they making out
Yeah.
in the hot tub?
Yeah. Or more.
What
That
kind
was-
of release is that? I don't want to sign that release. No, I am not signing that release.
But that's all she signed it for too. That always blows my mind when I
Well,
watch those scenes.
I'm wondering. So is it like sort of like, okay, you can show me in the hot tub, but you can't show me in my
Oh, I
panties?
think you're
'Cause,
signing a release.
like they're all
Yeah.
standing in their panties, and like I'm like,
my guess
don't know.
is before they showed up on set, so to speak, before
Okay.
they put on a mic and before they engaged, they signed the release. But she signed the release and then got in the hot tub. You know, it's like she didn't sign the release and started thinking, okay, well, I signed a release. I need to be more,
yeah.
careful with my decisions. She signed a release and she was like, let's get wet. It's a choice.
it is a choice.
I mean, if you've watched the show, you know they're only going to go so far with it. But it is weird to think about that footage existing in the world.
I mean,
It's
but
just-
the
Nick.
footage of people like in the bed, and I'm like, oh, yo, they're going in.
it's the
like,
getting
it's-
changed for me.
The
where
getting changed is.
But
I
it's
was like
too
just
much.
staring at Jesse's
Yeah.
ass for like far too long.
It's too much.
If you're going to sign a release knowing that almost certainly your moment is going to be hooking up with the fuckboy of the house.
Well, she wouldn't know that.
You don't think so? You don't think she knew what she was doing?
Met everybody out at a club one night and went
Yeah.
home with somebody.
I think
you
you
don't
should
know
immediately
his
start an
role.
OnlyFans.
Wait, what?
Jesse?
No, well, him too. But
Jesse has an OnlyFans?
No, but I'm the girl who hooked up with Jesse in the hot tub.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
that's like publicity for it.
Well, you could. It seemed as though she was down for her 15 minutes and it being in a hot tub. Which no shame. Like, get yours. Sign your
Uh-huh.
release. Have whatever you want to do. I'm
Uh-huh.
not judging you, but like, if you want your 15 minutes, capitalize on it. And
She wasn't
Oh, you mean so
identified
after
by
that she should have
name.
just started OnlyFans after that?
yeah, she's like. I mean, everyone like
Balloon guy should have an OnlyFans.
every character on Vanderpump, every new character is now like trying to start a podcast. You got Joe doing Instagram lives. I mean,
What?
Joe
Okay.
is in fact a sloppy Joe. Turns out.
Well,
I
you
think
know.
she owns James Kennedy Apology after this weekend.
Ooh.
Do you want to get into it?
Are we done with Summer House?
Oh, Paige and Danielle. Danielle having the
Oh,
audacity
That was a great scene.
Yeah,
to
Between-
tell
Danielle,
Paige
girl.
that she's giving her boyfriend nothing, who you're not even close to her boyfriend.
Do not give
And
me
also,
notes
you
on
don't
my
have a boyfriend,
relationship.
girl. You don't have a boyfriend.
She
Be
made such a
quiet.
good point with that. She goes, I have a job. I have a boyfriend. Why am I
Yeah,
taking advice from you?
right.
And it's so true. It's always like people like that want to criticize what other people are doing, but it's like
You're
you're
not even
not
doing
the
it,
model
girl.
citizen.
But that's where the after show comes in, because then she tries to explain sort of what Amanda was like. Well, you don't need to say it like that. You can say it a different way. She's like, that's what I meant. But yeah, it's like, girl,
Paige's response was great
I
though.
love Paige so much.
because she was just
She's like my best friend in my head. Girl's
look
girl.
at what I
Yeah.
like. Look at the results. Like, look at how I've impacted
Yeah.
his life.
Yeah.
Like, I look at his hair now, girl.
yeah,
He's hot.
Truly.
She cleaned him up.
yeah.
Oh,
She
I
cleaned-
love Craig. And she
Yeah.
made him independent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like in the environment in Charleston and everything, it's by now you should be married, have kids, all this
Yeah.
stuff. And he was really pushing that idea on her. And she was like, but we're thriving right now. Like, let's build our empire before
Yeah.
we're sitting here trying to like fit into the slots society says we need to.
She's
Yeah, and
doing-
I love her. She's like her and Sierra's relationship remind me of me and my friend Nicole's relationship. Oh my God. And Sierra looks like one of my friends, one of my model friends from New York from back in the day. But what I love about Paige is also like she's like a modern woman. She's like, I'm not thirsty.
Mhm.
Like, I know what I want. I know my worth. I'm also soft. I'm also all these things, but I'm also driven. And she's just like, I'm gonna live my life. I'm not trying just to be in a relationship for the
Yeah.
sake of it.
Yeah.
I've got things I want to do. You're gonna treat me like this,
Yeah.
or else, or I'm out. Like she's like
And she
she's
goes
like the
at
standard.
and she
Truly.
goes at her pace. Like, she's doing
Yes.
for her man what
Yes.
Lindsay is failing doing for her. Carl is like, Lindsay's trying to coach him up and have this positive impact and get him to do things. where Paige is successfully having this positive impact on her man's life, and like people are looking at Craig and being like, there's something different about you. You're growing up, you're maturing, like you're taking responsibility.
Yeah.
And you can look at the start of him and Paige's relationship and directly correlate that change.
Yep.
You know, like you could give Natalie that credit for me in my life, or segue into Vanderpump. I mean, look at like ever since Allie Brewer has been in James Kennedy's life.
her.
Yep.
James Kennedy has been making some positive changes. He seems like he has this aspirations of maturity and growth, and like James has a questionable past. You know, there's always all these rumors out there, but this is all to say, at least with Allie, you know, the impacts are obvious that she's had on James's life.
Oh, yeah.
And Paige is the same thing with Craig, and unfortunately Lindsay is not the same way with Carl.
No.
But part of that, I think, is it seems like Craig has a lot going for him, and that like maybe it wasn't like a whole reclamation project. You know, they're on the same page, no pun intended. Where maybe James Kennedy was willing to grow up and find his lane as a DJ. Where Carl, he's still like I don't know, non-alcoholic bar. I don't know.
He's just I think he's really sensitive, and he's trying to figure out his place, and like he needs to either be by himself, or if he's going to be in a relationship, it's like a completely different personality and stuff. But they're not, the math ain't mathing with the two of them,
But, like,
unfortunately.
Hot take too. Like I would be very frustrated too if I gave you a year to figure out what you want, spent $20,000 on a life coach for you to
life coach
for you
the
to come all the
business
way
coach.
business
Career coach.
Career
Coach,
coach.
I'm
You can't
sorry.
really put a time limit on like
but like for you
grow
to
now,
but
or
for you to
else,
come
like,
all the way full circle to be like, my God, I got it,
aw.
lover boy. Like, you know what I mean? Like where I'm
Yeah.
like that would be very frustrating for me to watch.
It would be a red flag for me to be dating someone, especially if part of my qualifications was to meet someone who was career driven, knew themselves, and they told me that they hired a career or business coach.
No, you paid for that coach. It wasn't that he hired it. You paid for it.
She paid for it?
Yeah, Lindsay paid for
That's
it.
on Lindsay then.
It's on her. I mean,
Wait, do we know
they're
that?
both
I think she said I
responsible.
paid
Oh.
for
They're
it.
both
I thought they
responsible
Yeah,
for
it's-
this really
that's just a
whack
poor choice of
relationship.
money.
Yeah.
If you're spending $20,000, that's a lot of money for someone who, if they can charge $20,000 as a career coach, they better be a zillionaire.
They better have a job at the end of it.
Yes, the person who's coaching you better have just an amazing portfolio of success. I don't know who his coach was, but
I feel like they had the coach for an extended period of time from what I remember. So I don't think it was just like a one and done session. I think it was like over a period of time, a few months that racked up. But
life coach, business coach, career coach.
Coach, that whole
If they're not
coaching
an actual
segment.
coach
Yeah, like
sports.
of
right,
sports,
exactly.
then a red flag.
Yeah, the whole life coach thing that gets
Ugh.
really
Messy.
murky
Yeah.
and messy.
Yeah.
Well, they got 20 G's off of it, so I don't know.
Sitting pretty.
Zoa! You've got to check out Zoa. Dwayne The Rock Johnson's energy drink. Zoa just launched a brand new campaign. It's all about the BDE, Big Dwayne Energy. They've got a really awesome new commercial that you can check out at Zoa's Instagram or YouTube channels. Zoa Energy is a better-for-you energy drink with great taste, electrolytes, B and C vitamins, and 0 sugar. It's made with caffeine from natural sources to provide balanced energy with no crash. When you drink Zoa energy drinks, it gives you the Big Dwayne Energy, which gives you the swag, confidence, and energy to help you conquer your day. Here at the Viall Files, my team has loved Zoa Energy to give them the extra boost to get through their days with ingredients that enhance energy levels. Zoa Energy helps my team find the spark and motivation. They've got 8 incredible flavors like tropical punch, wild orange, white peach, and now frosted grape, which happens to be one of my team's favorites in addition to the delicious cherry limeade. So get some Big Dwayne Energy and order Zoa Energy today. Available online and at stores near you. Find out where you can find it at zoaenergy.com and find retailers like Amazon, 7-Eleven, Costco, Circle K, and more. What I'm enjoying so much of this season is the fourth wall breaking. It's the in-group fighting that is now rampant between all these podcasts and social media and these Amazon lives and
After
these
show.
after shows and the interviews. Again, you got Lala going after Taylor Swift, going after Katie, going after Ariana. Do you have an opinion on why Lala is doing what she's doing? Last week, I said, to me, Lala's just making a business choice. This is, not show business. It's not show friends. It's show business, as they say in Jerry Maguire. But I feel like
Unfollow?
Sheena was asked a question about, she kind of contradicted herself. She's like, she's not jealous, and then explained that she's jealous. She explained that Lala's jealous. She's basically like, Lala's not jealous. She just wishes she got the same sympathy for her breakup that Ariana is getting, which that sounds like jealousy. But do you have a read on that, Kate?
I think Lala is a huge star and she makes great TV. And
Absolutely.
What I really wanted for this season was for the women to just stick together and have it be like taking down these men, right? And presenting a united front, which they did at the reunion last year and in the Scandival finale. And a rising Scandival lifted all boats, right? Like, didn't Lala buy 2 houses from Send It to Daryl? Like, like she was in the Uber One commercial with Ariana. Like, everyone should be happy about what they got from the Scandival.
Her podcast was charting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm sad about this breakup among these friends. And I'm also confused. And I think just from what I've pieced together, like what's going to happen at the reunion is that they've all been talking shit about Ariana behind her back, right? And this is not intel that I have like directly, but it just seems from listening to like the million podcasts that Vanderpump Rules throws off, Lala wants that brought out into the open, like what they've all been saying about Ariana, and is like, we all need to tell the truth about like how we feel about this. And then it gets very heated. And Ariana obviously is totally unaware of the fact that they've all been talking shit about her, and then sees the show and sees this building and the after shows too. And I'm sure they all had their feelings. But Sheena said on that podcast that Ariana did not watch, like all got the final 7 episodes or whatever, and Ariana deliberately didn't watch them.
Why not?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't, first of all, I would crumble
Same.
1 minute into any of these shows, but like, but I wouldn't want to see it. And that seems like a binge that would be really hard, especially the way the season went with the Sandoval redemption episode. The fact that Lala can go from calling him dangerous and a groomer to apologizing to him in his backyard.
I forgot about that.
That was so weird. And it's just like, I get that Lala is like, we're on a show together and we have to make a television show. But this is only months. You've said this, like, this is only months later. And Ariana's life was blown up. And obviously things have been great for her. But that was just a thing that happened that was good. Like, that wasn't the first or second or 10th thing that happened. Like, what first happened was she was humiliated on an international scale on, March 3rd of last year, like with her friend. And, we can argue about the extent to which they were really friends, Raquel and Rachel and Ariana. But like all of the things, like Tom dressing as Rachel for Halloween, like, it's like these things were all in her face. They were lying to her. Her grandmother died. Her dog died. Like, it's just like, these are so devastating. And the fact that anyone is questioning that she doesn't want to be in a room with him, like, she should not be on the show anymore. Like, she shouldn't. And especially because the story was Tom Sandoval's mental health, which, by the way, just get him help. Like, don't order Lala and Sheena to be nice to him. Like, say, we're calling psychiatrists. Like, like if Lisa's saying, like, my brother committed suicide, I know this is a real thing. Like, let's see them having an actual professional therapist, and it doesn't even have to be on camera. But if they're actually worried about him, like, wasn't the way to me. So, like, I don't know. I'm sad about this season. And I hope for Ariana that she just moves on, because I don't think that this is in her best interest at this point. They also can't fire her, like, right? If she doesn't want to do it, there's no real way for them to deal
the PR
with that.
would be a mess.
It would be a disaster.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I
But
feel
her
like
not watching the final episodes in preparation of the reunion doesn't help her cause.
I know. But then there's the
Because she's like,
thing
she's
about
not willing to do her job.
yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
there's also the thing about how they made them watch the finale together, which I don't know whether that's true. But like on the reunion taping day, apparently, like I don't.
heard
And
that
again,
too.
I don't know if that's just out there. But like I haven't verified that. But like, so she might have seen that.
Well,
one.
I saw an interview with Tom Sandoval on the Michael Rappaport show, and
Yeah.
he talked about having to binge all the episodes and how he, there was like this funny bit between, Sandoval said he fast forwarded through like not his scenes, and then like Michael Rappaport gave him shit because it comes across as like self-centered. But then you realize that kind of honestly that's what probably most people do. So to me, that tells me that they didn't all watch it together.
just the finale.
Just
The finale
the
is the
finale.
one
Oh,
that they were given all
I see.
7 episodes or whatever it was that was left in the
okay.
season. But maybe she hasn't watched it. She's been busy. She's in Chicago. She 8 performances a week or
She
whatever.
does like watching TV though, so.
She does. She does.
So I don't know. I think she has time for TV.
Should make time for that.
Anyway, I don't know. I'm sad about the season, and it seems like kind of they're in an impossible situation. I don't know how they move on from this. And I think maybe there'll be a bit of a break, like I bet the Valley goes into production sooner
You
than
think so
Vanderpump
before
Rules.
Vanderpump?
Yeah.
Well, they started filming this season like right away, right? Like it was like Scandal
This summer,
happened, and then
yeah.
it was
Yeah,
like
it was
2
like
3
end of
months
June.
after.
It was in
Yeah.
mid-July because I know like Sandoval was literally on Special Forces with me when they started filming
Right.
it, and we wrapped right before the 4th of July, and I think he went right into it.
Yeah.
So it was
You
early
see him
July.
coming home at the end of the first
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Wait, you were on that show, Special Forces?
You
Yeah.
won, man.
He won
Yeah.
it.
What? No way. That's so cool.
I got tortured and everything. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, I got to punch Tom Sandoval in the face. Yeah.
And carry him.
Yeah. And carry him.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a
Wow,
good-
congratulations. That's
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to watch that show. I was like, it was one of those shows that I wanted to watch with my husband because I was like, it's a little too
It's streaming on Hulu.
Ah.
It's available.
Maybe I can get my husband to watch it with me. I don't
It's a
know.
good
Something
show.
Well, now you know
like-
the end, but
Now that
It's
you're
worth
on it, I have
watching.
to watch
It's
it
worth
now.
watching.
It's a good
Oh my
show.
God,
It's
that
a good
looks
show.
seems like
the
high
thing-
anxiety.
The thing about Lala, it's what I don't. I agree. She is a star. She's good TV, but it's like she's trying so hard that she's ruining her credibility.
I
It's
know.
so on the nose. Like even the whole Taylor Swift stuff. It's like what
weird.
what is going on with this? And
she's
you're
like inserting herself into that to now people
yeah,
talking
and then,
about
and
it.
the things about Tom. She's too smart to sound this stupid.
filming with Joe.
Filming with Joe.
Weird.
And she goes, "I'm soft, Katie. Fuck." It's like I'm fucking soft right now. It's holy shit. Like,
I
oh my
said in
Jesus.
someone's comments, I said in like comments on Instagram, I never knew I could grow to hate the word soft, but here we are.
Yeah.
Like the number of times she says it in the most aggressive way, like it's odd.
It is
odd.
odd.
Do you get the sense that Katie really genuinely doesn't know why Lala's mad at her? Like,
Offline
yeah.
and in private, she acts just as confused. The
That's
thing
not
about-
good.
The thing about Katie, obviously, I'm friends with Katie. We produce her and Dana's show, and so obviously I have a bias.
Yeah.
But I will say the Katie I've gotten to know, I think she's often. I think people with low energy are often misunderstood as, Debbie Downers or miserable. Katie's just consistent.
Mm-hmm.
The Katie I've gotten to know and the Katie I've watched through starting back on season 1 she's so consistent.
It's always the same.
She's
Yeah.
always the same. She backs who she backs. And yeah, you can, Swartz last week try to, throw in a little dig, be like, Katie just expects you to have like loyalty. And I'm like, that sounds like someone who's good at setting a boundary as an adult and good at enforcing those boundaries. and,
Loyalty.
Friendships and relationships, just
A man
expect
who
some
never had
loyalty.
her back
Yeah.
in however many years
And
of
it's just
marriage,
like,
not
I
once.
Yes, and but from Swartz's point of view, and I guess Lala's, we're talking about a cast that one week they're so messy and they're screaming at each other, and the next week they're like hanging out. So I guess from the perception of these cast members, Katie and Ariana kind of taking this almost outside of the show adult like growing up mentality, I think is the only explanation I can come up with. It is so foreign to how they just operate in their world that's why they feel so justified to come after the Katie and Ariana, because they're just not playing Vanderpump ball, so to speak, where
Yeah.
I think everyone else is looking at this through the lens of what would you do in this situation? And that's why no one's understanding Lala and Sheena when she backs Lala. And, Katie is just consistent. She's just like, I'm not upset with my friend getting all these gigs. And what do you want me to expect? I
Right.
still think Sandoval's a piece of shit.
Yep.
Schwartz, what has he really done to change? Like, and people are just like, they're trying to get them mad at those two, and it doesn't make any sense.
I agree.
It was the fight that Lala and Katie got into. It might have been last episode, but the Firefox when she was talking about going to lunch with Joe.
Mhm.
And it's just like one of those things where you've been friends with Katie for a really long time. Like, why wouldn't you either talk to her about it or whatever? Because it's like you have no desire to actually be friends with Joe. So it's like, and you know that it's going to upset your friend, and you know how Katie feels about loyalty, and yet you're like, I'm in my soft era. And it's like, no, you're making choices and extending
Yeah.
this softness to people who don't deserve it and who haven't been in your life prior, because she did the same thing to Sheena a
Yeah.
couple episodes too. Like,
Well, she
they were
clearly
kind of
also
us.
doesn't care about. She doesn't care about Joe. So
You
even
don't
if
re- yeah, you
Lala
don't
is
really
doing
care
it,
about
she
that.
is
It's not really
doing it for Lala
fake
so that
soft.
she can prove her softness to herself.
Yeah.
That's the best explanation I can come up with.
Everyone being confused about why Katie would hate Joe is one of these things where I'm like, do we exist on the same planet? Because
Yeah.
Joe like moved in literally with Schwartz at one point, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, I can understand that Joe feels jerked around by him, that he was saying one thing to her, in private and other things on camera. I mean, he set her up to look like a fool, right?
Why does he call her
Joseph?
Joseph?
Ugh, it's disgusting.
Like, that to me,
But-
like,
What is that about?
It's
That's his
awful.
Bubba.
It's also just like it's desexualizing her
Yes.
in
Yeah,
this way
yeah,
that is.
yeah.
But when Joe went on Rachel's podcast, it's like these people are mean to you because you're dating her ex-husband. Like, that shouldn't be confusing to you. Why Katie hates you? Like, okay, shouldn't have called her a crackhead. Sorry, your mom saw that. But like, why is your mom, anyway, whatever. But it's so strange to me.
Like, it's not just mean girl behavior. It's like,
Right.
the crackhead stuff is kind of mean girl, but you are messing with her.
Last week, I took the take that I thought Joe deserves more accountability for leading herself on, which I think ruffled some feathers in the audience. But I do think after Joe's performance on her Instagram Live
Yeah.
this weekend proved my point. And
Unhinged, by the way.
Wait, what is she?
she went on a live. She talked about how good Tom Sandoval was at sex. She
What?
talked about giving
Don't
him
know why
head.
Katie
Schwartz.
didn't.
I'm sorry. She talked about Schwartz being good at sex and giving him a blow.
Don't know why Katie didn't want his dick.
No.
Yeah. Oh my God.
No.
Wearing earrings
The
that he gave
sloppiest
her.
of Joes.
Yeah.
The sloppiest of Joes.
This
She
is a
owes
sloppy Joe.
she owes James Kennedy an apology. I mean, you can't go on and be that sloppy and then be so offended that James Kennedy made merch.
Well, she also
Sloppy Joe.
taped herself
Sloppy
eating
Joe.
a sloppy Joe, cracking up about it. So it's like you love
What
the
is
attention.
And that was kind of my point last week.
What is happening?
I just strongly believe in this kind of dating climate that we have. That, like, again, and this wasn't me letting Schwartz off the hook and saying he couldn't have been more upfront and that he might have jerked around a little bit, and he didn't even deny that. But it's just like, it's so easy to just, I guess, play the victim in this type of situation where Joe did find herself on a television show. She found herself being recorded in a relationship with Tom. I don't know how much she can claim that she was kept a secret when Schwartz literally agreed to like document that relationship. It also, like, Joe talking about Schwartz I have a friend, and I think we all have a friend like this, a dear friend I care very much about. And this dear friend has been off and on in this situationship, let's say, with this person for several years. Now, I've never met the person they were in the situationship with. Think of Scandival, like describe the most misogynistic type of person. That's how this person's been described to me. Just like a real asshole, a real kind of prick, says all the wrong things, self-centered, selfish, maybe a narcissist. I don't know. I've heard
The person that your friend is in
the situationship with. Yeah.
Okay.
And I've heard this from everyone around my friend about the person I
Okay.
haven't met.
Okay.
They never really talk the shit about their person.
Mhm.
Now, my friend when I'm around her, if she sees, like, if they're watching a TV show, she'll call out bad behavior in men all the time, left and right, nonstop. She'll like, oh my God, this is disgusting behavior.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable. How could you? How would you ever deal with someone like this? I would never.
And then,
And this is the friend. We're always like, you know, they've been cheated on a couple times by this person. They're in a situationship, and again, it's like a gray area because, like, are they even
Is it
really
cheating?
Formal
in a
titles.
relationship? And there's a million other examples of why this person's a piece of shit. But this is also the friend that we have to be like, we have to check in on them to make sure that they're not going back to and giving them a third or fourth or fifth or seventh chance, you know? And it's just like, you're so quick to point out all this bad behavior. And, you know, the obvious answer is like, it's a projection and all these things. But like, I strongly think like in Joe's situation, like, she let herself on. Like, she wanted this. She wanted to be on a TV show, and her actions over the weekend, you know, just doubling and tripling down, going on podcasts, eating the sloppy Joe, doing lives. This is, to me, says a person who just wanted in on the circus that is Vanderpump, and she got everything that she wanted. And I think she's just playing the victim card to her benefit. You know, I'm not in the business of like defending Tom Schwartz and Tom Sandoval. Like, you know, it's been well documented, my questions to him about his relationship with Katie. But like, I don't think Schwartz is totally in the wrong when it comes to the Joe stuff.
I mean, Joe guested on the previous season. She obviously went on the vacations and did all the things with Rachel Sandoval. And
100% lied and said that she didn't know.
Had
that
no
they
idea.
were having an affair. That is a lie. That is a lie.
Actually absurd.
And I mean, Schwartz said it on your podcast. Like, he was like, yeah, she knew.
Yeah. And she said in the live that she still believes that her and Schwartz will end up together. That's
Oh my God.
Oh no, the way that she said, like, we have to let him go to Coachella, like talking about the new girlfriend. He was like, let him find himself and then he'll come back essentially.
So he's moved on.
He's in a whole new relationship. He's saying I love you to someone else.
Yeah.
Oh,
Full blown.
Girl, what are you doing?
And then went on live this weekend and just these earrings are actually from Schwartz. It was the most unhinged thing I've ever seen, to be honest.
And her friend in the video, there was a girl in the background who was like her hype video.
Oh,
like
no.
her hype person.
But also the most monotone.
Yeah. Joe
No.
would say the craziest shit and her friend would be like, yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's like,
This is amazing.
But actually you care about his happiness. Like, it was literally just like one tone. And then she's like, yeah, I do care about his happiness. Like, it was very
and I just
sounds unhinged.
how could anyone watch that and feel bad for Joe? She got everything that she wanted out of this,
You're getting the publicity,
including a sloppy Joe.
including a sloppy Joe.
Which are
She's making
delicious, by the
merch.
way.
For her sake and for Rachel's sake, this season needs to end.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like Rachel is decompensating, like, as we speak.
I said this to Natalie last night when we were watching it. The person, despite all the crazy things Lala is saying and doing, despite Sheena, and Sheena, I honestly thought this was a solid episode for Sheena. I thought her and Brock looked very sweet, taking care of Ariana and coming in and like, and helping Ariana organize. And it doesn't seem like a strength of Ariana's, it's a strength of Sheena's. I think she was very endearing. But clearly, we've documented the kind of crazy things that Sheena has said throughout the season. But despite all that, the person who still looks the absolute worst this season is Rachel. And she's not even on it. It's unbelievable how poorly Rachel is coming across in season 11 of Vanderpump, and she is not even on it. But she won't shut up about it. She won't stop talking about it. They're bringing her all the callbacks. It's just amazing how bad she looks and the choices she has continued to make. It's
Until
wild.
This episode, when she went on the Bethany podcast, they were still in negotiations with her to come back.
Oh.
Yes, to make an appearance. And so I was listening to her podcast that dropped after the episode, and she said that she didn't know that they were still filming. And I'm like, your team was negotiating to come back up, and like that was her giving notice. Like, that was when Bravo and Evolution was like, well, just not coming back. Like, it was the Bethany podcast that did it.
Yeah.
They had kind of stopped communicating with them just right up until then. And that was that. So the fact that she says that she didn't know that they were going to be reacting to the podcast on camera is just
bizarre.
I don't know. Like, maybe she tells herself these things. I mean, I don't know, you know?
To be fair, I agree with that fully, because I'm also like, even listening to the Bethany podcast when it came out, it was like, are you really going to try to gaslight us right now and tell us that what we saw, like, you know what I mean? It was like her version of the narrative, but it's like, this isn't correct even from just an outside perspective, let alone like getting her personal. It's like, you sound trained. You sound like you're trying to convince us that everything that we've seen isn't real. It didn't do anything for her. So then to have the actual cast right now breaking it down, being like, well, we were friends. Like, you go on Ariana's profile, there's pictures of you two together, just the two of you.
Absolutely.
Like, you guys were actually friends. And you can't tell me just based off of an interview with Bethany that like, oh, nope, she was never friends with them. There was never a real relationship. Like, Sandoval was going to break up with her.
history.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She made an incredibly healthy choice in not coming back.
Yes.
Like, I have total respect for that.
Agree.
What we thought was a healthy choice.
Right, exactly. And every step since then has seemed to have undercut that for herself.
Well, that's the thing. Now that we've gotten more information, I don't think it was ever a healthy choice. I think she sold it to us as a healthy choice. Meanwhile, I think her intention was always to try to monetize it her way.
Mhm.
And I think she just got a bunch of bad advice from the wrong people, including Bethany, who clearly doesn't care about anyone but herself and very good at convincing people of the opposite. And I think Rachel has proven to not be, I don't know
if she even thinks
the
that
most
way.
sophisticated.
Mm.
Right. I don't even know if she even thinks that way. But like, if her parents convinced her and people around her convinced her, do not come back, like, she would have ended up dating him again. And after all of that time in a literal mental health facility, like, yes, move on,
Yeah.
but just it's been sad because I thought she was kind of doing interesting things on that podcast at first. And then as the episodes have gone on, I'm like, oh no, don't do this. Like, I don't know. I want her. I mean, I don't, she wasn't my favorite, and she obviously did a terrible thing. I want her to be a healthy person in the world. I would want her to have a normal life.
Oh, she could have been doing so many positive things right now. She could really be a voice for change and growth. And she could really,
She's not at that
all
place.
her messaging could be about like recognizing a mistake and leaning into, but now it's rewriting history. It's a new narrative.
Suing Ariana and Tom.
I've mentioned this, but when we were filming Special Forces, this wasn't aired, but Tom came across to me as a guy who truly, however he defines love and cared about Rachel. He snuck in photos of her, and this wasn't like film. This wasn't like an on-camera thing. This was like Tom trying to connect with his castmates on the show and talking about Rachel. And like, it's fine that Rachel wanted to separate herself from Tom, but I do. It's still icky to me that she is trying to use all the hate against Tom to try to benefit herself,
Garner sympathy.
and garner sympathy.
Mm.
The heartbroken Tom we saw this episode, you can hate him all you want, you can, he's a piece of shit, but I think that was real sadness from Tom,
Yeah.
and I think that was real heartbreak and disappointment, and I think he genuinely felt betrayed by Rachel in this episode. I don't think that was an act. I think that
I
was
agree.
very sincere.
It's like, damn, we did all of that.
Yep.
And now
For
you don't
nothing.
even want to talk
Yeah.
to me?
Yeah.
Like, I really, I was like, damn, I kind of feel for him for a little bit.
I kinda do.
And that,
No.
I mean, let's not go crazy. But I mean, but I do wish also just that, speaking of like just the fourth wall, and I know that's kind of been the theme of this conversation, but like, I wish someone had said, I don't know who it would have been, Lala, Sheena, someone to Schwartz, why didn't you make out with Raquel at Sheena's wedding when you knew that she had already had sex with Sandoval? Like, that is the creepiest thing, and was still doing it that weekend. Like we know that as a fact now. And I think that needs to be answered for. And I don't know that Schwartz has ever been asked it.
Every time I talk to Schwartz off and on the show, he, without getting into specifics, he seems to allude to the fact that they are making a TV show,
Right.
and that sometimes they kind of do it for the story. He doesn't actually fully say that, but he kind of was.
they be producing.
He kind of suggests
Raquel
it.
said that too, that
Yeah.
she was kind of pushed into it by production,
Pushed into
making out with
making
him.
out with Schwartz.
Yeah.
Well,
And
it was like a tall table with two seats perfectly lit
So
that nobody
weird.
was sitting
Yeah.
at. Like, it's like, okay, this is set up for the next scene.
I do hate the word push by production, because just to like suss out that story, keep in mind production, if you being a conspiracy theorist, they didn't know about the affair at that
Right.
point.
Right.
So them being like,
Hmm.
come on, kiss Tom is not that big of a deal.
No.
But when you say pushed by production,
Yeah,
sounds like
harass.
And
It
that's the
sounds
way she said it.
aggressive.
Yeah.
That's
It
the way she
sounds
said
like,
it, for sure.
but being slightly suggestive, be like, I don't know, you guys seem like you're a cute couple. You know, is there maybe there's a kiss there? Like,
Right.
But it's a way to not have to take responsibility for your actions.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all
But
it
the
is.
two Toms and Rachel knew exactly what was happening in private.
they knew.
And that is just, I mean, when whatever it was that James said, like, that's creepy and weird and incesty, that's the most creepy and weird and incesty. And during the reunion last year, we didn't know exactly when it had started, you know, the Sandoval stuff. So double down on creepy, weird, and incesty.
I got into Vanderpump through Scandival.
Same.
Okay, that's how you got
Same.
into it. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I obviously, because of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, knew Lisa Vanderpump. And I guess when Vanderpump, I just wasn't really interested. I was just like, I don't care about this show. And then it just came, and then I just never got into it until Scandal. I was like, oh, okay. They messy as hell. I had no idea. They were so
Girl,
damn messy.
Welcome.
This is love and hip hop. Okay. I'm here for it. And so I'm like kind of catching up
Yeah.
on a lot of things. I don't know if I can do the Valley yet. That might be a bridge too far. Is it? Should I get into that?
Oh, it's
it's
I think
the
you
best.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I give it a
It's-
chance?
None of
It's-
us thought
it's-
it.
Do you
It's-
know them, though? Do you know Jax, Brittany, and Dodie?
I know he's from.
Yeah.
And
This
he got
world,
fired
yeah.
like a while back for being like what, racist. Wasn't it him and somebody else accused of being a racist
It was
or something? like that?
Kristen and
Kristen
Stassi.
and-
And she's on there too,
Kind
but
of
she
him.
wasn't Kristen dating. Wait, who was
Sandoval.
Jax got fired, I think.
Kristen was
Yeah.
dating
Yeah, they all got
Sandoval to
fired.
start, and then
Right.
Kristen and Stassi
Right.
made that
Right.
poor choice
Yes.
With
Uh,
Faith.
with Faith.
And they had done that. There was one black cast member on
Right.
this is a shame. This is like a
Well, I
shameful era. But, you know, there was this woman, Faith, and
Yeah.
she had a fling with Jax, which are you guys there
Oh,
yet?
I didn't
in
know
the-
that part.
We're not on Vanderpump.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
Spoiler. But but Faith was, you know, she was a friend.
Uh-huh.
She worked at SUR. I don't know anything about her past. I thought she was a good cast member. I wanted them to make her a regular, you know, but Kristen and Stassi went on a podcast and said that this crime, like a burglary or something that had
She
been
stole
committed,
Jax's jacket or something.
had been committed. No, I thought it was a stranger.
No, but they were trying
Oh.
to say that they recognized a jacket or something that
It was
she
like
was wearing.
A black person had committed a crime, and they were like, we called the
Oh,
police because we
God.
knew that was Faith. Like that was, and it was like
Wow.
someone who did not look at all like her.
The
And
caucasity. What are
and
y'all talking
so
about?
and so in summer 2020, like in June 2020, Faith went on a live and said, you know, I was
happened?
mistreated on Vanderpump Rules, and here
Mhm.
are the things that happened. And
Mhm.
Jax's tweet was still up about saying, I think the police are after her, or something like that. And Stassi and Kristen were summarily fired from the show.
And now they're on. The three of them are on.
Not
just-
Stassi.
No.
Not Stassi.
Kristen
Stassi.
and,
So-
and Jax are on
Yes.
the Valley.
Yes.
With now, Jax and his wife are separated or getting divorced or something like that.
Separated.
And I saw that.
Unclear.
Unclear.
They're also making
They're having
headlines over
Yes.
the weekend.
Yeah.
And that is my favorite part and most fascinating part about Vanderpump and now the Valley. It's like, and having got to know some of these cast members, I don't know when the TV starts
Yeah.
Mm.
and stops
Mhm.
versus their life. And I don't know if they know. Like
Mm.
Lala, like in my mind, this is all calculated and for the show. But when Tom Schwartz and I at Coachella, late night, kind of just not recording, just like, oh man, like, he's like, man, like, what's going on in Lala? I'm like, you tell me, like,
Uh-huh.
you're friends with her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I told him my theory about, like, I was like, hey man, like, she's just doing this, like, because it's drama, right? And he's
Right.
like, I don't know, man. Like, and so you get these conversations between the cast members, and it's like, I don't even think they know when one person is like, they really feel this way, or it's for the show.
The line's so blurred.
It's so
Mhm.
blurred that, like,
Yeah.
it's so fascinating how truly invested in their lives. I mean, you know, Lala with having her second kid, I mean, Lala's thinking of this as like, I gotta feed my family,
Yeah.
you know? And it's like,
Yeah.
this is her job and her life. It's so kind of fascinating how she can convince herself of actually having a grudge when maybe she doesn't even really have a justifiable
Right.
reason to have one.
Yeah.
Right. They turn on a dime.
Yeah.
Sheena's always accused of being a flip-flopper, but it's everyone, you know, except for Ariana, I guess.
And Katie,
And Katie.
they
yeah.
seem to be the most consistent. I like I said last week, I
Right.
think Lala's going to turn on Sheena eventually.
Mm.
Oof.
because Sheena's gonna say something out of pocket, something foolish. She's gonna
Again.
take the wrong. Yeah, she's gonna, and then Lala's gonna use that to turn on her.
Wait, so I should watch The Valley?
Mhm. Yes. Yes.
I need to get
yes.
into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
If you
no,
like the
I
other
would say
stuff.
no prior knowledge.
Need it. You
If-
can, any episode, just dive right in.
Yeah.
That's the best part about
No,
these
no,
shows.
but there've only been like what?
Yeah, it's
6
just
or 8,
five.
and anything you need to know from Vanderpump Rules, they will show you in clips.
That's
Okay.
true,
Like
yeah.
so,
Okay.
like anything that stupid shit Jax has said over the years, like they'll be like, and here's the highlight reel, so
got it. Okay.
It's really all about like getting older and having kids. The Valley is a very fascinating, like
growing up.
about like getting married and keeping the spark alive and
Leaving your childish ways behind.
or not.
No,
Or not.
Yeah.
None of them has.
I think it's kind of also like painting the idea that like even like 40 doesn't look the way that you thought it would. 50 wouldn't look the way that you thought it
Mhm.
would. Because I'm like some of the cast members, it's like they've been married for a while. You just kind of assume like even when you're younger and you're like I'm gonna be married by the time I'm 22, and then you
Yeah.
turn 22 and you're like
Yeah, exactly.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
So I'm like I feel like watching it, I'm seeing these disintegrations of relationships or seeing people that maybe got married and on the same page, but then hearing their like confessions and whatnot, you're like, wait a minute, like should you have even attempted this? Because now you don't like your husband, So I think it's kind of crazy to watch. It's very intriguing to me.
Sold.
Yeah. Well, and now
I mean, I've
Brit-
been married for 16 years, so it's like things go. I love my husband. But I'm saying just
You watch the ebb and flow. And,
Yeah, I mean, things ebb and flow. You grow, you come back. You do.
What's so fascinating about the Valley is they've been talking about the demise of their relationship since episode 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Damn.
do
There's
you
nowhere to
think
go from there.
Brittany? Because everything I hear about the start of the Valley was this all kind of was Jax's brainchild. Again, that who knows? Maybe that's what Jax is telling people, but
I
he
would
seemed
believe
like
that.
he really wanted this to happen.
Is he a producer?
No.
Maybe he's
Oh.
trying to be,
Uh-huh.
but like it sounded like he kind of wrangled up some friends. He was at least active and it's trying to get it off the ground is
Mhm.
my understanding. Maybe that's,
I know a little bit. So Alex Baskin, who is the executive producer of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, it was his idea to do Vanderpump Rules. He's the executive producer of Vanderpump Rules. And then
Baby
years
Andy.
ago, he, when it made no sense whatsoever
Truly.
for the famous adult staffers of SUR to have to pretend like they still worked at the restaurant, he was like, we need to have a show for these people to graduate into.
Mhm.
And I think it was going to be called Vanderpump Valley because they all weirdly bought their houses in that cluster. And it would have been, I mean, at the time, I think it would have been Katie and Schwartz,
Dossie.
Ariana and Tom, I mean, although Tom has a natural connection to Lisa still because of Tom, but they might have been on both. And then once the scandal happened, then Jackson, Brittany, Kristen, and Stassi all got fired. Stassi would have been on the Valley, I think. They all got fired, and then the idea just went away. And then the scandal happened, the redemption of all of these people because they all had such close relationships with Sandoval. They all go on a press tour. They all have their podcasts. Jackson Brittany started a podcast. And it was like, okay, let's do this now, and they started filming, I think, pretty quickly last summer.
Also, Kristen got like a really good reception for being
Yes.
on the finale of Vanderpump last
Yeah,
season.
and on Watch What Happens Live. And, I mean, I was waiting for them to like talk about, I mean, Jax definitely says in the first episode, I had it all and I blew it,
Mhm.
and then the racism Kristen stuff came up in the most recent episode, not in a way that favored her, which is probably the way it should be, when she's like, you don't, I know what it's like to be accused and labeled and canceled, but by the way, I really root for Kristen. Like, I feel like she's a real human being and I'm always interested in what she thinks, but I don't think the Valley is like really going well for her, unfortunately.
I would agree.
Pump Valley.
I root for Kristen.
Yeah.
She's been on the show. She's been lovely. I've had some dialogue with her. She seems yeah, her heart is in the right place. But her being on the Valley, you are reminded of crazy Kristen.
Crazy Kristen. Yeah.
That once she gets boxed in or stressed out or whatever it is, she says and does things that it's just it's hard to add up. It's hard to defend. It's the whole empath moment where she went on and on about how
Empath.
difficult it was for her to be an empath.
That's
The
amazing.
best edit because they've pulled clips from Vanderpump and it was just like her being like, I'm just an empath. I take everybody's emotions and I take it home with me.
I
And then they just
can't.
black and white or like slow motion, just suck a dick and just like all of her like epic, like non-empathetic moments.
Amazing.
It was classic.
I think I was like channel surfing, whatever, and it landed on there, and they were like, it was a dinner party or something like that. It was like all of them at this dinner
Yeah.
party.
Oh, that
and they
was
were
the
yelling
big
at
blow
her, and
up.
I was like,
Yeah.
"What is going?" I didn't have any reference, so now I need to go back to
That
the
was the
beginning.
big moment where
Yeah.
they were kind of reconciling her moment on Vanderpump.
And this guy was like going off on her.
Jesse.
Jesse.
Yeah.
He has a
And is
rage
he married
problem.
to somebody?
When he said, "Shut the fuck up, everybody,"
Yeah.
Michelle's gonna talk.
Yeah, yeah.
That was super weird. And
Did
then
he just
but
drop a bomb?
he did cry
Oh,
this
yeah.
episode because his wife wants to leave him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now they're divorcing. I'm
This is
scared of
not
all
good.
these divorces are gonna taint the show. Like, what are they gonna do?
That is yeah, it's like at first you're like, oh shit, we get to watch 2 divorces unfold to kick off the
Ooh.
season. But you're right. Where do you go from here?
Co-parenting.
Again,
They
this-
might still live in the house together. Still
But is
raise kids.
Jesse the type of guy you really want to bring? If he's not with Michelle, is he really necessary?
It depends. It just kind of depends, I think, how they handle it once the season's over, especially the reunion. But I'm like, if we're talking Vanderpump formula, that I'm like, it's not uncommon that for this job, you're going to end up having to be on
Yeah.
camera with your ex, and they want to create these moments or like Michelle
These
coming
love
with her new
triangles.
boyfriend
Yeah.
and Jesse's never met them before and they want to capture that on camera. So I'm like, there is like the after the breakup, after the divorce kind of thing, how you handle it, how you move forward, how you co-parent, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's still interesting television.
The reason I brought this up, I'm bringing it back, but like Brittany going into filming this season, she must have known she was potentially going to leave Jax.
Why do you think that?
Well, she's been talking about it ever since they've been filming, and it's kind of like it's like Brittany knows how reality TV works. They've had multiple shows together,
Yep.
and you can't help but wonder if Brittany was just like, all right, fuck it, I guess I'll
She's on the
I'll
cover.
start
of
my
Us.
single career on
She
the
was on the
Valley.
cover of Us
I'll get this
Weekly
check.
last week.
I kind of wonder too, like watching this episode specifically, it's Michelle talking about her issues with her husband and how she wants to leave him. And I do kind of wonder if that's when you find the similarities in that conversation. And she's like, no, I feel that way about Jax sometimes, like where that might have opened her mind to the idea of like, maybe we should be separated as well. Like maybe she wasn't planning on it because Jax has said that like divorce is not a word that they use in his family.
Yeah, they did say that today.
You know, so that's why I'm
Yeah,
wondering if
episode.
it was Brittany on her own being like hearing somebody else going through a similar experience. If she's
Right.
like, maybe this is an option, but
Right.
because Jax doesn't believe in divorce, he'll fight for this relationship, which is clearly not happening.
I don't feel like Jax believes in anything.
Facts.
Yeah.
Not facts, because allegedly.
Yeah, I saw her and watched what happens. I was like, oh wow, I thought they were together. Now they're
They're
show's still on?
separated, but
Okay.
still doing a podcast together.
Right.
because
Which
listen, there's
that-
money on the
that-
table
And still running a bar together.
What do you think about that, Kate?
I wonder if
and running a bar.
I mean, here, let's see what happens with this, because I feel like this separation was fairly amicable until now, maybe.
It's getting messier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she has said explicitly, up until very recently, that their problems were not Jax being
Unfaithful.
unfaithful to her. And that she said, I think, that she doesn't believe that Jax has cheated on her during their marriage.
How do we feel about Jax's double standard with Brittany, where it was like, I want you to go out, have a girls' night, but then when she comes home hungover, he's upset with her and telling her, like, the scene of him yelling at her about be a better mother or whatever.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was like, that's a really hot take for Jax Taylor, of all people, to be criticizing somebody's behavior, let alone Brittany, is holding down the fort. Like, it was wild.
I just feel like every time Jax opens his mouth on this show, he thinks it's a line. I think he just gives lines. I think he's self-producing, and I don't find him to be all that interesting or compelling. And I don't even want to sound like I'm defending the guy, because no one's
That
harder on
wasn't
Jax
That wasn't defending
than
the guy.
me. But like, even when he says the most out-of-pocket things, I don't even know if he even means it. I think all he cares about is being on TV and having attention. And I don't think there's anything he wouldn't do.
I feel like he also likes to paint himself as this like positive role model and wants to put down what everybody else is doing. Because even when they were in the car to go to that event last episode, and Janet and her husband were like, what's the budget for bidding and whatnot? And he was like, let's cap it at like $2,500. Then Jax goes, yeah, Brittany, we really need to talk about this. Like, how much are you going to spend? Because you bought 2 handbags. Like, it was like very much like trying to put her down for zero reason when there probably would never have been a discussion about how much she's bidding.
Yeah, and it's just like he's like, oh, I should start a fight.
Yeah.
Because I'm on TV.
Because I'm just such a good dad, and it's just so hard being the man of the family. And it's like,
okay, guy.
Okay.
Famously cheap.
Yeah.
Jax. I mean, to his benefit, I think. Like, I don't think he's blown all of his money paying people to be friends with him the way Sandoval has.
Oh.
I mean, is no one else concerned about these Vanderpump Rules people's finances? Because, like,
Me.
Nick,
I pointed it out. How can you be on TV for the better part of a decade, amassed a large social media following that if you do anything with is a good payday? You might not be a gazillionaire, but you are making...
You're earning a nice living.
You're a 1%er, which back to like not to go all the way back to Summer House. It is funny, back to your point of the fourth wall and Carl. It is funny at the same time, while I understand Lindsay, hearing Lindsay complain about Carl, because like objectively speaking, when you hear about like superficial qualities that some women like in men, Carl is tall. He's like 6'2". I'm guessing he's making over 6 figures being on TV and doing whatever. And just those 2 metrics alone compared to the average guy, he is literally a 1%er, in terms of the qualities that a lot of ladies out there in the single world are looking for. Over 6 foot and make 6 figures. Carl is that, and he's, less than 1% of the dating market has those qualifications, and it's just kind of interesting to
That's
point
an
out.
interesting observation.
But yes, I am floored by how all the times where these Vanderpump characters specifically talk about how much money they don't have.
Mhm.
Sandoval said in that disastrous New York Times Magazine story that he had to go on tour because he was like about to start bouncing checks. And I'm like, I'm so worried, And Ariana said that right before the
She had
news broke, that she had
$2,000.
$2,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Help. I mean, I guess they have more house than they should have, I guess. Like, I don't really get
You
it.
also live
that's
beyond your means.
But
Also, it's like,
all of those people are on his payroll.
But then there's payroll. There's like
The
slices of pie
bars.
you have to cut out.
Yeah.
And then if you're not,
And there's
that
not
money
a,
gets eaten up.
The
And-
bars, the sandwich shop that's not open yet. I
Right.
think that's where all of
That's right.
Ariana's
Yeah.
money
there's a
went.
lot of people not saving. Unfortunately, I think that's the new norm these days. And I think the Vanderpump cast is a good example of you can make a lot of money and still be poor if you have no kind of spending control or
Well, also, when did they start this? They were all like in their 20s, right?
yeah.
And they're making all this money, like living in the now, maybe. I
Very
mean, not to
much-
say that 20-year-olds can't save. I'm just saying that they're on TV, they're living this life, they getting money.
Yeah.
It's like,
It gets confusing, definitely,
Yeah.
because it's like Sheena at one point was like living in Marina Del Rey right on the water. And I'm like, that's so expensive. So expensive. But then she can also buy a house in Palm Springs, but then is talking about Sandoval sending her
Yeah.
money to
Right.
help
Yeah.
her
During
out.
COVID.
Well, you can
yeah.
be
but I
asset
mean-
rich and cash poor.
That's
true.
true.
You can have a lot of debt and a lot of property.
and also people front on like a lot of these shows. Like, not everybody, just because you're on a Real Housewives, whatever, doesn't mean like you're really balling like that. Like,
Yeah.
people front. I mean, is that true or
Facts.
not?
Facts.
Like,
I'm pretty
you
sure
front-
Dorit is not.
you fronting on like the
Legit.
clothes
Dorit
you're
was on
wearing,
my
the labels,
South-
that
Southwest
house that
flight.
rents it out, like you're on the cars, like all of that shit adds up. Then if you got kids, you got family, like
Mhm.
if you're putting, your money can go really fast.
It goes.
I
yeah.
mean,
and
we
even,
know that Lisa Vanderpump is rich.
even
She's
when
like,
you're
we know
good with
that.
your money, it can go like
Even when you
yeah. it's
listen, there's
agents,
to
managers,
keep up that
lawyers.
lifestyle and to sort of keep your shit floating. Like,
Yeah.
you got to put out a lot of money, so it goes.
10% adds up.
Yeah, it costs a lot to look
I
rich
mean,
for sure.
Listen, it costs a lot.
Yeah.
So I
You
don't
said you
know.
saw Dorit on your flight
Oh,
from South.
back from BravoCon.
Okay.
And I was like, it had been a much delayed flight, so I felt sorry for myself. And then at the South by Southwest baggage claim at Burbank, I saw Dorit standing there, and I was like, oh no. Like, Dorit was on.
Dorit was flying
Southwest?
Southwest.
Yeah.
Now I'll fly Southwest.
No.
I'll also fly
no
economy.
shade to Southwest.
But I don't present the way Dorit presents.
I had also interviewed her like 2 days earlier, and I was like, does Dorit want me to say hi to her now? But we were then standing there next to each other, and I was like, it's much weirder if I don't say hello. And I was like, hi, Kate from Variety, talked to you the other. And I was like, is she? I mean, no one should be embarrassed to fly Southwest.
I was going to say, to be fair, that's a smart financial decision. You're in the air for 30 minutes.
It
From
is.
Vegas
Yeah,
to
well,
LA.
But when your whole
Yeah.
character is
Exactly.
opulence
In
and
terms of
wealth
fronting,
and
she
$1,000
wasn't,
pajamas,
you know?
It would
Now,
only
wait,
be
was
a
this Burbank or was
60,000.
this LAX?
Burbank,
That's
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, Burbank is
very
well,
pleasant.
PK,
I love Burbank.
I mean, if you can ever fly Burbank, it's the dream.
It's the best.
It's the absolute dream. But
Ugh.
PK, that is shady. He wears a full
Is that
tracksuit, and I'm a big believer that if you're an adult man who wears a full tracksuit, you're potentially an organized crime. And I think his only public job is being the manager of Boy George, and Boy George, in some circles is an icon. But what has he done lately that would allow PK to furnish the lifestyle that Dorit is presenting?
Well, one of the weirdest things that happened on the most recent season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is that whole time he was in England and she was upset about it, arguing with him about it, he was filming a real estate reality show
What?
that he was like a host of that exists. And it's like, I assume there was a schedule for it, but it's like that didn't come up at all.
Wow.
And I don't
That's
really
weird.
understand why. I don't know. I think they should bring the conversation about their money stuff because there's the show and then there's the so ever growing conversation around these shows. And it's bad with like Vanderpump Rules the way when that's more interesting than what's actually happening on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel like lots of fans knew that PK was just filming a real estate show in England, so like it's like it just is silly,
Yeah.
But even to Joy's point with like people fronting and everything, like it was just brought to my attention that like even Dorit lives in like Encino. So it's like we're not even like talking about like it's Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but yet we don't really clarify to the audience that like
She
we're
lives in
not
Encino?
filming in Beverly Hills.
I like Encino.
None of them live
That's
in
my tip.
Beverly
That's my
Hills.
source.
I think at this point, right?
I think one of them does. It might be Kyle who's the one that lives in Beverly Hills.
No,
think
she
Kyle
lives
is-
in. I thought she was in Encino also.
Kyle?
Because they live down the street. I thought
We're
they
looking
said
at
they-
Encino.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, maybe Crystal did.
I thought.
Oh,
where does
Crystal,
Lisa
I feel like for
Vanderpump
sure.
live then?
Pardon me?
Lisa's not on the show anymore,
But,
but
when she.
She
Oh,
was
she's
in
got-
Beverly
Where's
Hills.
Villa
Yeah.
Rosa?
Villa
Oh,
Rosa
right.
is in Beverly
Okay.
Hills.
I've
Okay.
been to Villa Rosa. That's,
It's Beverly Hills,
there's
correct?
swans.
Or is it
Uh,
Brentwood?
It's
Or is it
somewhere.
Bel-Air?
It's somewhere in the hills.
Yeah.
It's somewhere hidden.
That house.
If that's, I don't know where. It's somewhere rich.
Next
yeah.
time you're invited, I'm tagging along.
I don't know if I will be.
Villa Rosa.
I think that sums it up. I
I
think we
think
did it
so.
all. Joy, what an absolute pleasure.
Oh, this is so much fun.
Thank you so much for coming. Will you
This
come
is
back?
like the deep cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is deep cuts.
Will you come back?
I would love to go.
What is
back.
your favorite Bravo show?
Fuck. My favorite Bravo show. It's really tough. I mean, like Summer House, Winter House, definitely. Those are my favorites because I just love just all the friends together and their own, drama and alcohol and all the things. I love Below Deck.
Below Deck has a very strong following. I haven't
love
gotten into
some
that
Below
yet.
I
But like,
love Below Deck.
what's your favorite thing about it?
Well, it's that whole kind of upstairs, downstairs kind of thing where
Yeah.
you get to see some of the passengers or the clients or whatever and all that mess, but then really the stories about the people that work there, and there's always drama and there's always just like tears and alcohol and bad behavior and messiness. I love it. And I love all Real Housewives too. So it's hard for me. I love Atlanta. I love Beverly Hills. Salt Lake City.
How do you
get
feel
New
about
Jersey?
New Roni?
I'm very excited for New Jersey.
Yeah.
All of them.
New Jersey.
I never got into the Texas one. I didn't get into
Oh,
that.
Neither
Dallas,
did I,
yeah.
but it got
Right?
canceled.
Doesn't seem like anyone did.
Did you
Um,
like the new Roni?
You know what? I didn't watch the old Roni too much. I don't know. I guess being from New York, I don't know. I just wasn't really, I don't know why. I
You're like
wasn't that interested.
PTSD.
I would come in and out, but I did like the reboot. But then watching Ultimate Girls Trip, I'm like,
Miss the OGs.
The legacy, yeah.
yeah. But I really love Ultimate Girls Trip too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Me too, yeah.
I hope they do
it's
another
really
one.
good.
Well,
That's why I got
Just
Peacock
with Legacy,
just for that.
without
yeah.
Ramona.
So those are all my favorites. Basically everything.
All right.
So.
Well, please come back.
I
It was
would
so
love
much
to.
fun to have you. And go check out Joy's new show, The Spiderwick Chronicles, now available on Roku. It is a great show, a great family show.
It looks
Yeah.
amazing.
Looks amazing.
I can't wait.
So congratulations on that. And where
Thank
can
you.
people find you on social if they want to
Oh,
that
I'm
fun
like,
thing?
okay, I am on Instagram, and my name is Joy Beasy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Easy.
It's so bad because I'm like Harley. Yeah,
That's
anyway.
okay. It's
Yeah,
weird to
I'll be-
self-promote, but
You know.
you
No,
have
no,
to
no, it's
do
cool.
it.
I just
Plug it.
I just forgot what my name was. It's Joy Beasy. And I don't know why
Beasy.
it's not at Joy Bryant. Thank you. I'll figure that out.
Well, go follow Joy. Either way, Kate,
I
always
gotta
a
check.
pleasure.
Thank you for having me. Very fun.
Please come back.
I would love to.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to send in your questions at AskNick@ViallFiles.com for all things Ask Nick. Texting office hours. We have a great Ask Nick episode available out right now that came out on Monday. We are back on Thursday for another episode of Going Deeper. Excited to bring that to you. Anything else?
Nope.
Bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.